the other day. LA Knight online saying if The Miz was to work out a little bit more, he might have filled that vest out, which I thought was a fun line. So LA Knight has got something for The Miz. We know that we've got Jimmy Uso. We know that we've got John Cena. The other thing that we've got as well is Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio taking on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So we know that we've got a tag match there as well. Hard to know what to expect from that, to be honest. Obviously, this is a go-home tonight. We have got Payback tomorrow, right? So it doesn't really feel like we're on the verge of a WWE pay-per-view, but we are. Very much looking forward to doing that stream. Obviously, we will be live tomorrow. A little bit messy tomorrow, just so you know, because we are doing UFC. So we're going to do UFC. Thug Rose is competing, which I'm very excited about. So Rose Namajunas in action. It's quite a good-looking card, actually. So we're doing that, and then we're going to go straight into Payback. It will be a separate stream though, so if you don't want to join us for UFC, that's fine. It'll end and we'll just go straight into the WWE Payback stream. So we'll be starting probably about an hour before the kickoff show. Normally I like to start a bit earlier than that, but as we said, we will be doing UFC, which tomorrow is early because it's in France, so we can do both. So we're going to do UFC in France, then we're going to go into Payback. So it's going to be a long day tomorrow, a real long day tomorrow. And then on Sunday, of course, we've got AEW All Out. So a busy, busy weekend. I've been doing all my research, getting ready for mainly UFC. I mean, obviously, we know what's going down in WWE and AEW, so we're kind of up to speed with all of that. But definitely doing my research for UFC, trying to get my head around things, and I think we're in quite a good place. So, yeah, hope everyone is well. Hope everyone's looking forward to the show tonight. And as we said, probably the biggest talking point, the one that I think is going to get the most attention, is the return of John Cena. But a lot of people are going to be excited to see what Jimmy Uso is going to have to say as well. Jimmy Uso, we haven't seen him for a few weeks. We were meant to see him last week, but of course, the very, very tragic, sad news about Bray Wyatt dropped. That's a week ago now. It's been a week already since the sad, tragic news of Bray Wyatt. No expectations, obviously, in regards to, you know, any tributes or anything now. That was all last week. That was last Friday. It was Monday. I think it's been 7 days. I think that, you know, we've got our heads around it now. I've seen, obviously, loads of chatter about it. I've watched loads of tributes, and obviously WWE has been putting a lot of stuff out. There was a great video, which I still haven't watched actually, but I have seen the start of it, where the superstars give their thoughts and talk about like their memories to do with Bray. And I watched the Bailey one at the beginning, and it was really, really nice, really cool. I've seen a lot of people talking about Samantha Irvin. She sang "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" in that video. Haven't seen how many views that video's got. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's not about the views, but it did kind of come out with not much fanfare. So it could be that people don't quite know it's there, don't know that it's a thing that's been put out by WWE. So hopefully it got some views. 1.2 million. 1.2 million people watched it, so people know it's there. That's nice. That's nice. It's about 35 minutes long. It's got Bailey, and it's got Sami Zayn, and it's got Samantha Irvin. Came out 2 days ago, so if you've not seen that, then I would urge that you check it out. Mitchell, shout out to you, bud. Hope you are well. Kian, hello as well. Says, hope you have a good stream. Thanks, buddy. Justin said, reports are getting louder about Edge going to AEW, said Justin. I've not seen that, to be honest, but then the news has been quite loud about like John Cena and Jimmy Uso and everything. So, yeah, I would be shocked if he went there. I really would. I said this before. And then the news came out that he had a contract dispute then he came out and said, well, I've got a contract extension, which I can sign whenever I want. I'm just really trying to figure out, is now the right time to go on my terms? And I did think about this last week. We didn't talk about it, but I did think about it. What do you think the Bray news did to Edge? You know, do you think the Bray news meant that Edge is now thinking, you know, we don't know how long we've got left, I need to be there with my family more? Or I wonder if it made him think, you know, whilst I'm healthy, I should be doing what I love, and what I love is wrestling. So obviously he can still see his family, but he can, you know, does he continue wrestling for that little bit longer? I did wonder how the Bray, because I'm sure the Bray news made people reflect in lots of different ways. Obviously, Edge is having to make a big decision at the moment. And so I did wonder how that news was going to be portrayed by him. But yeah, maybe we won't have to wait too long. We might find out soon. Hopefully we find out soon. It'll end all the speculation. Dave said, what do you think Cena will do tonight? Well, he's going to start a feud, isn't he? I don't know if it'll start tonight, but he's going to be sticking around for 7 weeks, apparently. So originally it was just going to be this show and India, but now there's reports that he's actually sticking around. So that obviously says to me it's going to be a feud. I don't think he'll just come in and face like different people or whatever. So I don't know. It's really hard to know who it is that he's going to be facing. I think Grayson Waller would be interesting, because Grayson Waller and Cena had a little interaction at Money in the Bank, and Grayson Waller, I think, is someone that WWE have got high hopes for, because he's a very confident talker. He's got a good size, good look. His matches are, you know, okay. Kind of feels like we've got the template there for someone really interesting. And him working with John Cena, hopefully he could learn a lot from Cena. So, you know, I don't know that we go that way, because actually Cody Rhodes is going to be on the Grayson Waller effect at Payback. So it could be there's a plan to do like a little Cody Grayson Waller thing. I did say in my predictions, though, that Cody is on a different brand to Grayson Waller. So that could also just be a one-off, because Cody is obviously on Raw, Grayson Waller is on SmackDown, so you kind of look at that. And I know that they have people kind of come over. I mean, Miz is technically Raw. I think LA Knight is technically SmackDown. It's not stopped us from doing that feud. So, you know, but yeah, ideally, I think they like to try and keep people within their brands when they're doing feuds. So I don't know, maybe Cody gets interrupted at Payback by someone, and then that leaves Grayson Waller free to start a little feud with John Cena. So I don't know, but there's probably a few options. Probably what I've not done is sat down and like gone through the roster as to who it could be. But hopefully we don't have to wait too long and we find out tonight. Macca Rice said apparently Cena and Cody going into a feud which could build up tomorrow during the Grayson Waller effect. Well, that would be interesting. I know that that's a feud that Cody wants. Don't know quite how we get there, because that would be face versus face. And I can't see Cena kind of leaning into being a heel. I suppose he could, but it's just not something that we see. And Cena is on SmackDown. Cody's on Raw. Don't know. That's one that would kind of take me a bit by surprise, to be honest. But then saying that, look, Cody's got to be feuding with big names, because we've got to keep him relevant as we continue to work towards what I think will be him and Roman again next year at WrestleMania. So obviously he's just come out of a program with Brock. So him going into a program with Cena, it does make sense from that regard. But I don't know, face versus face. I don't know. That's kind of a tricky one. Because there will be plenty. You heard in Money in the Bank, there's plenty of love for Cena. So it means that Cody's going to have people that won't be cheering for him in this feuds. Don't know. Let's say it's a tricky one. That is, it's a tricky one because I can see why you would do it, but then I can see why you wouldn't as well. Mitchell said, I saw rumors that Cena will feud with Grayson Waller. I know rumors said that Cena will be around for 7 weeks, but is that the best use of him? I think Grayson Waller's the best use, yes. I think Grayson Waller is the best use because at this stage, if you're bringing Cena in, you really need to use his star power to build up younger talents. You know, we've actually got some really good young prospects. We've actually got some talent that I think is it's bubbling away, you know? I mean, you look at people like Raquel Rodriguez. She's obviously a very interesting prospect who has done a few things, won like a women's tag title or whatever, but, you know, now we're seeing her engaged in a feud with Rhea Ripley. Like, you know, and you're seeing how heavy-handed she is. I mean, she's walloped Rhea Ripley a few times and, you know, not took any backward steps. She's got, like, a good size to her and everything. Like, that's a really tasty match tomorrow. Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez is a really tasty match. I don't think that Raquel will do it because I think that she'll do it eventually, but I don't think she'll do it, like, first time of trying. So I am leaning to Rhea, but yeah, you look at the likes of, well, Rhea's young. You look at Raquel. Over on the male side, as we said, you got Grayson Waller, you got Austin Theory. Obviously, we've got Odyssey Jones, who we haven't seen yet. I'm a fan of Rick Boogs. I think there's some real potential there. That guy is huge. He is huge. And he's got a personality as well. He's really fun. So he's got a great look. He's got a great personality. He's quite charismatic. We just haven't done anything with him. So, you know, he's bubbling away with some potential as well. You got Johnny Gargano, who we know how great he was in NXT, but he hasn't had a chance to really show it on the main roster yet. Tommaso Ciampa in exactly the same boat. We know how great he was in NXT. He hasn't had a chance to show it on the main roster yet. I mean, we could go on and on and on for like all the talent they've got. If you're going to bring in someone like John Cena, I'm sure that the fans would go, oh my God, I want him against Cody. Oh my God, I want him against Edge. Oh my God, I want him against Randy Orton again and all this. But what purpose is that going to serve? It's going to give you some ratings right now, right? It'll give you some ratings right now. But, you know, John will go back to Hollywood and, you know, Edge is on the verge of retiring. Randy Orton is obviously injured, whatever. I understand the Cody one, as I said, because you need to keep him, you know, in big feuds. So I do understand the Cody one. But, yeah, with all this young talent, like, yeah, I would definitely look to invest in that young talent and, you know, put them in the ring with John Cena. You got to remember, there'll be a lot of casual fans that tune in just to see John. There'll be a lot of people that tune in that are John Cena fans that want to see, oh, wow, what are we going to do with John? What, John Cena's back. I love John Cena. What are we going to do? Like, who's he going to fight? And so then they'll be introduced to these new names, which obviously is great for them. And obviously they get the experience of working with someone like John and all of his knowledge. And, you know, hopefully they'll be like sponges and just soak it all up, which will make them better in the long run. Obviously, we did it with Theory, and it's debatable as to whether it worked. It doesn't always work. But hopefully with someone like Grayson Waller, who I think, you know, imagine them going back and forth, promos and everything, and Grayson doing stuff to kind of cheat John Cena. And yeah, I think that could be really fun. I think it'd be really fun. So yeah, that is how I would use John Cena. So I think that the thing with John Cena is he's so popular and there's so many options for him that I think that there's a few different ways you could go and people would be into it. People would be excited by it. Right, let's go down to the next super chat. Mitchell again said, I think it's intriguing. Cena Cody could work. Cena can cut these fourth wall breaking promos that come off as heelish, like he did against Roman Theory. Cody loves those styles of promos. Yeah, the only thing I'd say is that, you know, against Theory and Roman, those promos aren't heels because, you know, even though he's breaking fourth wall and he's saying stuff that's kind of laying into the heels, that's kind of fine for a face to do that. Like, that doesn't make Cena a heel. Cena, again, Theory is clearly a heel. Roman is clearly a heel. Cena's role in both of those feuds was a face role. This is why I'm saying, like, to bring Cena in and put him up against a face opponent is not the norm. That's not what you would do. Bringing him in and then going up against a face. We did bring him in against Bray, and you could make the argument that Bray was a face at that time. But obviously, like, that was a weird match. That's one of the weirdest matches in the history of wrestling, like the Firefly Funhouse match, where actually we played on the dynamic of whether Cena was a face or a heel. The whole concept of that match was Cena kind of having to face himself. And obviously he didn't use the chair back at WrestleMania 30 because he didn't want to be a heel. But at WrestleMania 36, he does swing the chair at Bray. And then obviously we see him, like, in the NWO being Hollywood Hogan-esque. So actually, even the feud where he was going up against a face, we did play around with that dynamic as part of the match. You could always look to do that here. If you did a match against Cody. I have to say, though, it's not the way I would go. It isn't the way I would go. If I could choose a way forwards, I would have Cena working with that young talent. I'd be investing in the future. I understand that Cody needs big opponents, but I think we can find opponents for. We're not struggling for people in, the rosters are both rammed. We can definitely find names for Cody to work with. I know Cody does want John, though. He has said that he would love to work with John. So I know it is a bit of a bucket list one for Cody, and I'm sure Cody has got quite a bit of pull backstage. I know that people think that Cody gets buried because of his AEW connections. I think that's a load of rubbish. And actually, where does he get buried? I think he lost at WrestleMania, and those people were out in force at that time. But I only think he lost at WrestleMania because they wanted to do the whole Usos breakup, and they wanted Roman to still have the title. And as Triple H said at the time, we know the story for the next few months. We know where we're going. And, I can totally understand why they wanted Roman to be champion during all of that. So I think it's just setting up an even bigger WrestleMania 40, to be honest. I think it's just setting up an even bigger WrestleMania 40. And, look, what I will say is, let's have a look and see. We haven't got long to wait until we find out which way it's going to go. And if it is Cody, cool. I ain't down on it. But if I could pick one, I'm definitely looking at Grayson Waller. I want something good for Grayson Waller. I feel like, Johnny Gargano is a fantastic wrestler who, you kind of talk to fans now and they're not really crazy about him, but it's because he's been injured. We haven't done anything with him. If he was actually in some red hot feuds, if he was actually being used on TV and he'd been competing and he'd been having great matches, people would be purring about Johnny Gargano. He was so popular in NXT. To me, he is the face of NXT. So, like, I sort of feel like these younger talents or these new talents to the main roster, they need love, man. They need love, otherwise they really fall off. Look at Karrion. Look at Karrion Kross. It's been around for about a year. And again, it's been very hit and miss with Karrion Kross. Very hit and miss. So there's a lot of bottom line is there's a lot of people that could do with John Cena. So Mitchell, great comment, buds. I love bouncing off some of these thoughts and these comments and chucking a few things around and sparking a conversation in the chat. So love it, man. Sean says, happy Friday. With the tease of Cross getting a faction and news that AOP could be coming back, do you think if Cross and AOP get put together, if not AOP, any thoughts on who? Thank you. Sean, shout out to you, man. Appreciate the support. I don't mind Cross and AOP together. I don't mind that as a faction at all. The only thing I would say is traditionally, if you do put a tag team with someone, that tag team is likely to be taking some bumps. So if you look at the Usos, they kind of took a lot of bumps on behalf of Roman. If you have a look at, I don't know, bad example, but like the Singh brothers, the Bollywood boys, they took a load of bumps for Jinder Mahal when they were all together and running together. You look at Eichner and Bartel, or Giovanni Vinci now, and they're their old names, aren't they? It's not Eichner and Bartel. They're now Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. I can't keep up with all these name changes. So those two take a lot of bumps and do a lot of matches and lose matches for challengers that want to get to Gunther. So if you was to put AOP with Carrion, I think my default setting would tell me, or my reading of that would be that I think a lot of people would have to go through them to get to Carrion. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to job out AOP. It didn't necessarily hurt the Usos, I suppose. It can be done well. I have been critical of the Usos being chucked around by different people at various times. I still didn't like it at times, but big picture, obviously it didn't hurt them. They booked it well enough whereby they maintained their credibility. So fingers crossed, if you go down that road, AOP could maintain their credibility. But I would be worried that people would be getting chucked around in order to try and get to Karrion Kross. The other thing as well is that Authors of Pain, I mean, we don't know loads about them. They obviously had Paul Ellering as a manager. I don't remember them ever really talking too much. I don't really remember them having much of a backstory. I don't remember them ever being like mysterious like Scarlett, or like, you know, Scarlett's got her tarot cards and all this kind of stuff. Like I can see that Scarlett and Karrion kind of operate in the shadows. And I suppose AOP kind of operate in the shadows. There's been a few promos where Karrion has been in like a back alley and he's been cutting his promos. We've been outside. You could definitely see AOP standing in the background. But I can't see them really getting involved in like Scarlett's tarot card stuff, you know? So I would say that they fit. Maybe not perfectly, but close enough whereby it wouldn't be a problem. I think the bigger problem is, would it just be too strong of a group? Would they just be too strong? I mean, who's going to be chucking AOP around to get to Karrion? Like, unless we're going to, like, you know, kind of really go down a new road and just have them be quite Shield-esque. But I don't know. The thing with the Shield is you had three very strong, indistinctive personalities that you knew were all going to be massive single stars. That wouldn't be the case here. This is very much, you know, a tag team and Karrion. I suppose you could compare it to Bobby and the Street Profits. I suppose you could compare it to that. I have a little concern that Street Profits will be chucked around as people try to get to Bobby. But I don't know. It's one of those, isn't it? I trust enough in Triple H and his booking, whereby if that's the direction he wants to go, then I'm here for it and I'll support it and we'll see how it gets booked. But yeah, them as a faction, it fits. But as I said, like Scarlett's kind of mystique, tarot card, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't scream AOP to me. But them just being sort of in the shadows, in the background, that definitely does. So, yeah, I would have no problem with AOP being with Karrion, but I would be carrying a couple of concerns. Great point, Sean. Sakilla, shout out to you. Appreciate the support, my friend. Aaron, hello. Hope you're well, buds. Aaron said, I had a great last weekend. I'm glad you did, bud. I'm glad you did. And I'm not surprised as well, because Wembley looked like it was bouncing. So I'm sure you was leading the charge. I would book Cena against Odyssey Jones. He reminds me of Keith Lee. That's what I would do, and I hope you're having a good day. I'm doing well, man. I hope you're well. Yeah, just get him with that young talent. Get him with that young talent. I really, that's the direction I would go. I think that I think the roster is only as strong as you make it. Simple as that. You know, if you're looking at that roster going, oh, there's not really many big names around, is there? You know, we've lost Randy and Edge about to retire, and Roman might be taking a bit of a break, and obviously we've lost Big E to injury, and he's still not come back. You know, well, yeah, but what you got to do, right, is you got to build up that young talent. Then you've got to invest in that young talent. You got to make those names that don't excite you at the moment start to excite you, right? So, you know, if you see an Odyssey Jones, if you see a Johnny Gargano, if you see a Tommaso Ciampa, if you see Austin Theory, like if you see these names on a show, then, you know, you start getting a bit more excited than maybe you would at the moment. So, and the way you do that is by obviously putting them on TV on a regular basis, in good segments, great matches, great promos, sprinkling in a bit of star power for them to go up against, blah, 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 right? So, yeah, I'm a big believer in it. I'm a big believer in this talent coming back and giving back and building up like the stars of tomorrow. Richard Jr. said, WWE Payback picks, KO and Sammy, Raquel, Trish, Becky will be a double DQ. Zoe joins Judgment Day. Zoe joins Judgment Day. Well, Knight wins, Mysterio wins, and Seth retains. I did put a poll out asking that question because I really think the Seth Nakamura match is one of the most interesting matches, maybe of the year, in regards to what do you do? Do you pull the trigger? Do you keep the title on Seth? I mean, I made the comment of it's now or never for me. It's now or never. Like, if you're going to do something with Nakamura, you need to do it now. Otherwise, what are we waiting for? I'm a big believer in Nakamura. I've always liked him. I wanted to see him succeed down in NXT. He did become champ. I always felt like there was something missing with Nakamura. And I'm sure you lot have felt the same. Loved his entrance music, loved his debut match in NXT against Sammy, of course. I mean, I think that's probably still regarded as, unfortunately, his best match. And the problem has always been his lack of English. He speaks broken English. He can sort of get by, but it's not great. And I think that's been a real barrier for him. It's been a real barrier. And WWE is just not that great at overcoming that barrier. They're not. They're just not that great. There's lots of stuff that WWE can do, like amazing video packages, amazing big shows. They can make celebrities look like world beaters. Like they can do so many things. They're good at so many things. But I would say one of their biggest weaknesses is taking some of that international talent that doesn't speak English and finding a way of presenting them as world beaters, as killers, right? And, I mean, Asuka should be bigger than she is. I mean, she is one of the biggest female names, but she does feel a bit of a step behind a Charlotte, a step behind a Becky, you know, a step behind a Bayley. She doesn't feel like she's that top level to me. And I'm a big Asuka fan. But it just feels like, you know, we're always kind of botching her title runs, and we're never quite maximizing on her potential. I think that's why people got so excited when they saw she had the new face paint and she was quite Kana-esque at the Rumble. People got very excited for that because everyone, I think, respects Asuka. But we're just waiting for her to be presented as the absolute elite top draw female talent that she is. And honestly, I've got to say this year has been a bad year. I know she won the title, but all she's largely done is just missed people. That's all she's largely done, right? Is go around just spitting in people's faces. So I've got to say I think it's been a bad year, even though she has been and won a championship, which she's now lost. But you look at Nakamura, and Nakamura is another prime example, even worse, actually, because at least Asuka's been there or thereabouts, but Nakamura has been a million miles away from the main event picture. I mean, he had one run with AJ, and that was around the title. That was okay. He did get in the ring with Roman, and there was a little confrontation that went nowhere. So I don't know what that was. But there was a little confrontation there. But yeah, he has just really, really struggled. But I would say what we've done with him over this past month or so has been some of the best presentation of Nakamura I have ever seen, even including NXT. Like, I love what he's wearing. I love the fact that he is cutting those kind of backstage vignette things. So we're not doing backstage interviews with him. It's pointless. We're not doing interviews in the ring. It's pointless. We're doing pre-recorded like vignettes that are edited with subtitles on that I just think look amazing. You're watching him doing like MMA and training MMA. He's talking about knowing of Seth's weakness. There was that whole mystery. What did he say to Seth? What did he whisper to Seth? And then like there was that mystery, so there was a bit of intrigue there as well. Like the presentation has been so good. I sort of wish that he wasn't feuding with Seth. I sort of wish that he was feuding with someone else and the Seth feud would come later, because my only concern is, like, it's been a good month, but is that long enough for him to now get the title? But if you look bigger picture and think about the fact that this is a guy that's been on the main roster for years and years and has deserved better for years and years, right? I would say don't look at it as a month. Look at it as he's been around for so long and he's been mistreated for so long. Now that he's being treated really well, now's the time. Now's the time. Because if we're not doing it now, when are we doing it? When will he get another shot at this championship if you don't pull the trigger now? So I really am desperate for him to win tomorrow. I think the odds are that he won't. I completely agree. I think it'll be Seth that retains. I think Seth is doing some good work. I think that he's one of their biggest stars. But you could make an argument of having one of your biggest stars, like, still be a big star, and have Nakamura grow his star power by being the world champion. Nakamura, who's got great potential, and we could explore his character more in the way they're presenting him more. Put the belt on him, because this feels good to me. But you still got Seth. It's not like he's going away. It's not like he's, not going to be around. You've still got him. It's just he doesn't have the title, but that's okay. Seth didn't have the title for, quite a long time. And he had great feuds with Cody. And he's been doing lots of different bits and bobs. So, yeah, I would switch the title. I would go Shinsuke. I predicted Shinsuke in my official predictions, but 100% that's me just hoping. That's me just keeping my fingers crossed. I would love to see him do it. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. I think the card is interesting. I really like Raquel Rhea. As I said, I think that Raquel is such a credible challenger. Seeing Rhea have a credible challenge like Raquel, I think it's so exciting. I'm really into that. I'm really into Shinsuke Seth. I'm desperate for Shinsuke to do it. I'm really into that. I'm really not bothered by KO Sammy against Judgment Day. But at least Rhea said that if they don't all leave with gold, there's going to be changes. So at least if Judgment Day lose, and I think they'll lose, could set up a very interesting Raw. At least it'll make Raw on Monday a bit more interesting. So I suppose there's somewhat to it, but God, I've seen these two teams going against each other so many times. I am so over it. LA Knight against The Miz. I don't mind it. I think it's been a good little build. I mean, I suppose I just expect LA to win and just keep building LA. He's obviously got the fan support. So I think there's been some really good back and forth. I liked LA Knight's promo last week. I like what The Miz did on Monday as well. I'm looking forward to see what LA responds with tonight. But I can't say I'm red hot into that one. I just expect it to be a pretty routine LA Knight win. Who else is facing? Becky and Trish in a steel cage. I mean, I do like a steel cage match. I am partial to a steel cage match, so I'm definitely down for that. And Ray against Austin Theory, I just don't really care about. If I'm just going to be brutally honest, I would much happier take that match off and I would put Gunther, Chad Gable on, and then that would make it a stronger card for me. Because, yeah, Ray against Austin Theory, they're going to have to do a bit of work tonight to make me care about that. But, you know, I mean, it's a good little program for Austin Theory. As we said, you've got to invest in your young talent. Austin Theory in a feud with Rey Mysterio is probably the right thing for him right now. Probably good experience for him. So from a booking point of view, it makes sense. It's just, I don't think there's really anything cool or intriguing going on, you know? The only thing that's really happening is Santos Escobar. Could he potentially turn on Ray? That's the only thing, really. But other than that, I mean, Austin Theory's just got nothing going on at the moment. There's nothing going on with Austin Theory. So, yeah, they're going to have to do a bit of work tonight to make me care about that match. But overall, I think the card looks pretty good. Ashton said, do you think John will have a match every week? I don't think so. I think it's probably going to take John a little while to get going to get to match ready. I mean, if you think about Bray, when Bray came in, you know, Bray had been away for a long time. It took Bray ages to work his way up to having a match. But we don't know, obviously, what was going on behind the scenes with Bray. But, yeah, if you've been away for a while, like, I don't think we've seen Cena since WrestleMania. But yeah, if you have been away for a while, coming back, you've kind of got to do bits and dart matches and work your way up to getting back to being, like, you know, capable of doing a match. Maybe they could chuck him in a few tag matches. Could do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in some tag matches, but I will be stunned if he is doing like singles matches on SmackDown. One of the other things as well is that if you've got John Cena and people want to watch him wrestle, old school booking is that you make them go to a house show to watch it. You know, back in, you know, you weren't seeing Hogan competing all that often on Raw back in '93, because if you want to see Hulk Hogan, you need to pay tickets to go to a house show. In this day and age, if you want to watch John Cena, well, you better tune into the next pay-per-view. So it could be that. It could be that we do a lot of promos, maybe the odd tag match, but singles match-wise, we could probably build up to a big singles match at whatever the next pay-per-view is. Actually don't know what it is after Payback. I'm not sure. Is it Saudi? Do we go to Saudi? It'll be the No. Is this the September one? Might be the October one, which I think is Saudi, isn't it? Because November is Survivor Series, and then there wasn't one in December. So my guess is after Payback, the next one will be the Saudi show, which again makes sense if you think about it. John Cena wrestling a singles match in Saudi. I mean, that's very Saudi, isn't it? That's a very Saudi match to do. So maybe it is like Cody Cena or Grayson Cena in Saudi Arabia. But no, I'm not expecting like John Cena Open Challenge and him doing singles match every week. But listen, it's WWE. Anything is possible. Cynthia, shout out to you. Really, really appreciate the support, my friend. Really appreciate the support. I hope you are well. Cynthia said, I've been thinking about green shirt guy. Let's go. I think we all have, Cynthia. I think we all have. Not everyone's going to want to admit it, but I think we all have been thinking about green shirt guy. And how many times he got a chance to see Bray in person. Okay, that's an interesting angle. I don't know if he liked Bray, but it had to be a memorial for him, especially now that Bray passed away. What do you mean? So you was thinking about green shirt guy, and you was thinking about how many times he saw Bray, and you thought that it had to be like emotional for him because he saw Bray so many times. I mean, I don't know his feelings on Bray, so it's hard to say. I mean, he might have thought Bray was all right. You know, he might have been massively into Bloodline, massively into John Cena, Randy Orton, all that. You know, he might have just thought Bray was all right. Yeah, saw Bray, but yeah. I mean, I have no doubt that he was devastated by the Bray passing news like everyone else, right? I've no doubt about that, but hard to say without knowing him how affected he was. I don't know. He might be heartless. He might not have cared at all. He might not have been bothered. I'm sure he was. I don't want to paint green shirt guy out to be an awful person, but well, you know. I think you can all see the evidence for yourself. I'm just saying. No, I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm sure he's a cool cat. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen an interview with him. I don't know anything about him. People ask like, "Oh my God, how does he do it?" It's like we don't really know. I mean, my understanding is that he has got a contact within WWE. But how does he get the money to do it? Don't know. Did he win the lottery? Is he just had an amazing job? Like, don't know. Who is his contact? Like, how does he get that seat? Like, what did he say to them? Because even if his contact is someone at WWE, you would think that at some point Vince or Triple H or someone would go, "What? This dude is always in the front row. Like, if we've spotted him, they've spotted him." So who is this guy? Is his contact like Vince? Or like Vince must know who he is as well. Vince must have seen enough of this guy. Why the green shirt as well? What's the logic behind that? Like, why that shirt? You know, did he just wear it once and someone went, "Oh, you're that green shirt guy"? I don't know. Wouldn't he have to go a few times? It would suggest that he thought about it. Because I can't imagine that you would wear that green shirt by chance a few times and then people go, "Oh, you're the green shirt guy." Do you know what I mean? That would be a hell of a coincidence. I'd have to think that you would look at that green smiley face shirt and go, that's what I'm gonna be known as. That's what I'm gonna be known as. I'm gonna be known as that guy. I'm gonna be known as that. He could have wore anything. I also want to know where the long-haired guy has gone. Do you remember there was a long-haired guy, Jesus, we used to call him Jesus, and his mom, right? Mary. So, yeah, I don't know where they've gone. Haven't seen them around. They used to go to all the shows as well, but I haven't seen them in a while. For me, Jesus has gone and his mom has gone, Mary. But now we've got Trinidad guy. I love Trinidad guy. I like Trinidad guy more than green shirt guy. I'm sorry, I do. You see, the thing is, green shirt guy, he seems to be able to get that front seat all the time, which just says to me that he knows someone and he's got that seat on lockdown, right? I don't know how he's done it. I don't know how much he's paid. I don't know how this works. I don't know if he's got like dirty Vince pictures that Vince is trying to keep out of the press and he's being blackmailed. I don't know, but he gets that seat all the time. I don't think I've seen him. He might have moved like a couple of times, but by and large, he's there. Trinidad guy, the guy that holds up the Trinidad flag, I've seen him all over the place, man. He's always around the front, but sometimes he's in the aisleway, sometimes he's on the corner, sometimes he's not far from green shirt guy. Kind of feels it's a bit more difficult for him to get the same seats each time. He still loves WWE, he still goes to all the shows, but it seems a bit trickier for him to get those front seats on lockdown, which says to me that he's having to do a bit more work than green shirt guy, which I got respect for. So I'm more a Trinidad flag guy than I am a green shirt guy, but I still love green shirt guy. I think green shirt guy for many people is seen as the unofficial leader of the WWE universe. So he should really have his own YouTube channel where he like rates the matches, because I think his match rating would be as highly regarded as Dave Meltzer's. But I don't think Dave Meltzer's is that highly regarded anymore. But it would be very interesting to know kind of his thoughts on the products, because I mean he's been to the shows, so and he know what he's on about. You know, he's seen that much wrestling. It would be interesting to get his opinions on things, and I think that people would be interested in hearing what he had to say. But I don't know his opinion on Bray Wyatt, Cynthia. I don't know. I'd love to. I should reach out to him, really. Shouldn't I? Not interested in interviewing the wrestlers, but give me green shirt guy. I'll do an interview with green shirt guy. Absolutely. But from what I've heard, a lot of people have reached out to him and he's not interested. So I'd imagine he gets DMs and whatever from wrestling podcasts all the time. So, I mean, Cultaholic would love to talk to him. You know that What Culture would love to talk to him. You know Wrestle Talk would love to talk to him. I'm sure they've all reached out. And who knows, maybe there is an interview out there that I've just not seen. I've just never seen. But I've never seen an interview with Green Shirt Guy. It's on my bucket list to speak to Green Shirt Guy. Mitchell said, since we're on a nostalgia trip, I just saw Izzy, the Bailey fan, the little girl, made her pro wrestling debut. Yeah, I wish her all the best. There was a bit of news, wasn't there, around her family? I don't know if you ever heard about this, but apparently her family were like, weren't they involved in like getting the crowd turn against MSK? Did you ever hear about this? I've got nothing against Izzy, the girl, right? She seems lovely and I wish her all the best. But I think it was her mom and dad were... I don't know if some comments were made. And hang on, let me Google it. I don't want to say stuff that's not true. Let me go Izzy NXT MSK. Let's see if anything comes up for that. Oh, here we go. So this was April last year. How WWE superfan Izzy's parents became real-life villains. Real-life villains. Little bit extreme. Little bit extreme. There you go. Just so you know, I'm not making it up. This was ringing a bell. How they became... Despite Izzy being a beloved part of NXT, her parents have emerged as villains behind the scenes. Villains, I tell you, villains. Why are they villains? I don't quite know. It's something to do with MSK, I remember. La 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 la. That's a look with Bailey. There have been multiple questions raised, which is a concern about safety. No nines physically taking the rest of the body from. I don't know. I can't bother to read it all. Another question posed: whether or not Izzy's being exploited. Oh, yeah, here it is. Look, Izzy's parents allegedly sabotaged MSK. MSK made their debut in January 2021. Fans online were positive regarding their superb in work and strong matches. Things seemed to be going well. Babyface team were getting booed stronger by the week for no apparent reason. It emerged that this is down to Izzy's parents due to Nash Carter being one of the people that spoke out against Izzy wrestling. Izzy's I think it was because she was so young. Not like she shouldn't do it at all, but just at the age that she started doing it. Due to being longtime members of the NXT crowd who have largely remained the same for years now, they led a revolt against MSK in an attempt to sabotage them. Don't you think that's amazing? Don't you think that's like one of the wildest NXT stories ever? That a tag team comes in and one of the guys is quite critical of like this young girl. I mean, she was young, starting wrestling. I don't know really when you should start, right? I don't know when you should start, but she's been doing it since she was really young. And so Nash Carter was quite critical. So the parents who were still going at that point, I don't think they've been for years now to NXT. But the parents then started to get the rest of the crowd to start booing MSK. So MSK were doing all this stuff, getting rave reviews, but the NXT crowd were booing them, and it was all to do with a young girl wrestling, which one of the tag team members didn't think she should have been doing at that age. It's a pretty wild story, isn't it? It's a pretty wild story. So, but as I said, I don't think they go anymore. I think that the whole, because there was quite a big fallout over that, and I think they kind of stopped going along. I don't know if they were asked to stop going. I don't know, but I haven't seen them in the crowd for a long time. But then saying that, you know, perhaps they've kind of moved on. There's quite a few NXT fans that you do see popping up in AEW crowds. There used to be a guy that always wore an Everton shirt. I think his name was Kyle. and used to see him in like around the front row. He used to be really animated with the wrestlers. You couldn't help but see him if you watched old Full Sail NXT. And I've seen him a couple of times in AEW, not for a while, but when it was in Jacksonville, I've seen him a few times in the crowd there. Tie-dye guy as well. Seen him quite a few times in the crowd for AEW. Not that long ago as well. I remember pointing him out. He used to go to NXT as well. So tie-dye guy. Kyle, the guy in the Everton shirt. Don't see them at NXT anymore. Izzy's parents, don't see them at NXT anymore. There used to be like the regulars, you know? You used to see like a fair few of the same faces. There probably are now, but no one's really stood out. I can't say that I spot the same people each week when we watch NXT anymore, but I'm sure there are. I got sent really generous. Someone sent me a video of how you get into an NXT taping. It's pretty wild. Like you have to join a Facebook group, and then the tickets are free. They let you know if you've been successful in getting a ticket for that show. Then you go to Full Sail, right, to get on a bus that then takes you to the Performance Center. Then you go inside, watch the show, and then you get back on the bus and you go back to Full Sail where your car is parked, and you then leave from there. Full Sail is not, it's only up the road from the Performance Center. The Performance Center doesn't really have much space for parking. It wasn't built for like, you know, what it's being used for. So the way they work around it is by shipping, coaching people in from Full Sail. So they must have an arrangement with Full Sail where they can use Full Sail's car park and bring people over, like, so. Yeah, crazy. As I said, there probably are people that go like on a regular basis. I would. If I lived in Orlando, I would be going to NXT tapings all the time. Definitely. I'd have a great time. And they never go anywhere else, do they? The tapings are always there. You would have a bit of a community feel. You get to go to the Performance Center, which I just think is pretty cool because we all know WrestleMania 36 came from there. I'd love to. I'm going next year. I'm going to see if I can get in. If I can get in, then there won't be an NXT stream for a week, as I will actually be in the building. But I am going to see if I can get in. I don't think I will be successful, but I am going to try. So Mitchell, Cynthia, Ashton, Richard, Aaron, Sean, Mitchell, again ×2. Big shout out to all of you guys. Great to see so many people joining us as we're building towards what hopefully is going to be a really fun show. As we've said, you know, we've got John Cena on the show tonight. We've got Jimmy Uso on the show tonight. We've got a tag match involving Ray and Santos. They're going to be in a tag match against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So I don't know. That could be okay. That's probably not the most exciting part of the show. But yeah, there's a few bits. We know that LA Knight is going to definitely address The Miz as well after The Miz dressed up as him on Monday. So that feud obviously rumbling along as this is the go-home show for Payback. Big Time Baxter said, Days AEW. Big Time, I thought of you earlier. I thought of you last night, actually. I don't think of you every night, but I did think of you last night because I did a member stream and we did a watch-along for Payback 2020. It was pretty fun, actually. And during that, I was talking about, I don't think I've seen the AEW ratings yet. And I saw the AEW ratings, and I was surprised. But let's see what you're going to say. I'm guessing it's the AEW ratings. Let's find out. Big Time Back said, AEW coming out of a historic all-in only did 871. It's a very underwhelming number. I know the card wasn't the original plan, but no one tuned in. Kind of feel for Tony. Yeah, so I was surprised because I think we were all expecting that to do 1 million. We said during the show, though, that like we know it was heavily affected. And we said, like, are people going to stick around? Because no offense to Moxley versus Commander, but that's not a match that I think is going to have people like sticking around. And the rest of the show wasn't promising. Like, you know, you needed to drop big. It needed to be Raw after WrestleMania, even though that's been a bit rubbish the past few years. But it needed to be bang, bang, you know, just like big segment, just these massive names, these big bombs dropping down. So I'd be really interested to know, did a lot of people tune in? I think this week in particular, WrestleNomics normally put this out, but how many people tuned in at the start of the show? Was it 1 million plus? Did like a lot of people tune in excited after having seen All In? And then as the show continued, because of the travel issues, the illnesses, the hurricane, obviously we know that that card was affected. It was not the card that was planned, right? So I do feel sorry for them that this affected them at that time. But what is it a case that is the biggest reason, or was it a case that only 900,000 tuned in anyway at the start? Because you're probably not going to grow viewers. You're probably not going to attract more people as the show goes on. You're probably going to be starting, if you're starting at 900,000, it's probably going to be down and maybe a little back up again. But by and large, you know, it's going to be around that ballpark. Whereas if, like, you know, 1.1 tuned in at the start, that would imply that people at least had, you know, a good experience with All In. And so they wanted to watch Dynamite. And then it was just the quality of the show that kind of meant they just drifted away. So I can't answer that. I did not see the 15-minute breakdown, but it would be interesting to know how many people did they start with? How many people tuned in to watch that show on Wednesday? I agree with you. I feel sorry for them. I think AEW needed, well, they didn't, needed maybe isn't the word, because we did talk about this the other day. They've got Mercedes potentially coming in, and listen, if you sign Mercedes and you say that Mercedes is making her debut on this episode of Dynamite, people are going to tune in. That rating will be important as well. That'll be interesting. Like, if you say we've signed Mercedes, she's going to speak on Dynamite, you're gonna get people tuning in. So it's not like this was the be all and end all, but I think we can agree this was a big one. This was a big Dynamite. This was a Dynamite that you could really have done with, like, you know, solidifying the people that checked out All In and tried to convince them to then watch All Out. So for it to be like 8-7-1, you say again, it is a shame. It is a shame for them. But it's hard, man. It's hard. We keep saying it's hard. This thing is hard. You're competing for every minute, every second, every view, every like, every form of engagement. It's just such a competition. It's so difficult. It's really, really difficult. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a fight. It's a scrap. It's hard. I don't even know what they were up against. They could have been up against some sport. So they could have been going up against like some big game or something. I genuinely don't know. But yeah, you know, we'll have to see kind of how they do coming out of All Out. You know, they have got another opportunity coming out of All Out to kind of try and capitalize on that one. But I think it's not unfair to say that All Out has been overshadowed by All In. So it definitely feels like it's going to be harder for next week to be a big number compared to this week, which you would think this week would be the big number, you know. But as I said, I'm not in America. They might have been going up against some massive sporting event, and that could have handicapped them as well. So, yeah, I did think of you, though, because I know you're really into your ratings. Kian said Fastlane is next month. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've moved Fastlane, which I don't really like, to be honest. Don't really like. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Fastlane makes sense. Doesn't really make much sense, does it? What we on the road to? Survivor Series. Christmas. End of the year. Don't like it. Kian said Fastlane next month. Apparently John is hosting tomorrow for Payback. I could be wrong, and WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, not 36. No, 36 is in Orlando because it was in the Performance Center, wasn't it? In 36 was the lockdown one. But yeah, Fastlane. Don't like. I don't like. I don't know why we're doing that at this time of year. Makes a lot more sense it being on the road to WrestleMania. I think they could come up with something better than Fastlane in October. Standback said, "Why does Payback livestream say Seth versus Braun?" Oh, I don't know. I'll have a look at it. Godfather said, "Smoking that Tony Khan is scrambling for All Out. He woke up and thought, who's the second best wrestler associated with Chicago? I need Dennis Rodman. R.I.P. GM Punk. Thanks. MJF versus Rodman. Rodman for the win." Get Michael Jordan. He's still around, isn't he? That would be sick. If they got Jordan, that would be sick. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't heard any rumors about what they're doing. In fact, I haven't heard any rumors about, or I haven't heard anything about AEW today. So I don't know any of the comings and goings in the current situations. I mean, as far as I know, Punk and Perry have been suspended. So, yeah, I believe they've been suspended. But have they made an announcement on that? I don't even know if that's been like communicated to the fans. So the card obviously doesn't have Punk on. There could be, Collision tomorrow. Could see some movement on that though. But yeah, I mean, just the worst time for that to happen again. Just the worst time. I don't know what he's going to do. There's a lot of eyes on how he's going to deal with that situation. I certainly don't envy him. Corey said CM Punk told them to use plastic, not paper, then proceeded to get into a fight with a guy at the grocery store. Let's go. Let's go. In all fairness, you should have the option. That's all I'm going to say. You should have the option. Sometimes paper bags are just not that strong. Like, yes, should he have brought his own bag? Of course he should. Yeah, and we've all been offered Bag for Lives many times in our lives. He should have brought a Bag for Life. But if he was looking for a one-off plastic bag, I think he's right to kick off. Listen, the environment is important, but getting your shopping home securely is also important. So nothing but love to CM Punk, Corey. Big Time said, I think the whole constant drama coming out of AEW and Tony coming off as a no control. Hang on, what? I think the whole constant drama coming out of AEW and Tony coming off as no control, as having no control, it perceives them as a high school children to the public. Well, I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know, because I think to the AEW fans, they don't care. I think the only thing they care about is, I was going to see Punk on Saturday, now I'm on Sunday, and now I'm not. Could Punk be going? Could Jungle Boy, Jack Perry be going? I don't think if you're an AEW fan, you're so engaged with the product, I don't think you care. If you are a WWE fan that hates them, I think you're going to hate them whether they do this or don't do this. So we're talking about the casuals, aren't we? I think if you're anti-AEW, you're anti-AEW. If you're pro-AEW, you're pro-AEW. It's the casuals in the middle that are the ones that this is probably going to impact and their perception. I have no idea what they think. I have no idea. Casual fans that just tune in once in a while, is this going to stop them from tuning in? I'm leaning towards probably not. Who does it make them look like children in front of? Who does it make them look like idiots in front of? You could say everyone, but to AEW fans, I don't think it does. To AEW fans, I think they are just, they'll give you a list of, I've seen it already on Twitter, they'll give you a list of times that WWE has had backstage drama and gone, oh, all right, so, you'll have a pop at AEW, but what about when this happened in WWE? What happened when that happened in WWE? you know? So your hardcore AEW fans ain't bothered by it and will stand up and defend, you know, what's going on. Your WWE fans are going to lay into it. So it's only the people in the middle, the casuals, that are, you know, it's going to be affected. And I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know what their perception of AEW is. Like, this is the kind of stuff where they'll do surveys and focus groups and, do you know what I mean? Like, trying to gauge, like, you know, what do you think of AEW as a brand? How many times do you watch AEW a month? Have you ever bought an AEW pay-per-view? Like, those kind of surveys to try and gauge, like, you know, a reaction from different people. I would imagine that they have done that sort of thing. Focus grouping. But I have no idea what the results would say. I have no idea. I mean, Tony's into his data, isn't he? He's got a data company and everything. So I'm sure Tony is aware of how people are perceiving AEW at the moment. But don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know how people are, those casuals are perceiving it. But to be honest, I'm not bothered either. As long as they put on a good show, as long as they put on a show that I want to watch, that's all I care about. What are your thoughts on Ricky Starks challenging Ricky the Dragon on Collision in a strap match at All Out? I think it's a bit wild because Ricky is super old, but I did see some footage of Ricky wrestling last year against Nick Aldis and like Jay Lethal, and you know, obviously he's slow, but he can still move. He can still move. He's not plodding around looking lost. He's not like Ozzy Osbourne in there. He's you know, he can do the odd bit. I mean, like, you're gonna have to bump your flipping backside off for him. You're gonna have to sell everything he does and make it look amazing. But someone like Ricky will do, you know, he'll do that, and I think he'll make Ricky the Dragon look as good as you can. The one thing I would say is, you know, I don't know the test that you have to pass in order to be cleared to wrestle. I mean, I believe there is, because obviously, you know, we hear all the time such and such isn't cleared, such and such is cleared or isn't cleared. So there must be some sort of test that's done in order to clear you. I would be very interested to know how Ricky the Dragon, at the age that he is at, and the potential risk of him competing in a ring at that age, I would be very interested to know how he would get past an AEW test. Like, how would AEW be able to clear it? I know that if Tony wants to do it, he'll just do it. But I know also we did do Ricky at, was it WrestleMania 25 in a tag match against Jericho, and then that was so good we ended up doing Jericho against Ricky one-on-one at the following pay-per-view. I mean, WrestleMania 25 is like 14 years ago. I mean, it's 14 years ago. I mean, that's pretty considerate. That's, you know, that's a good chunk of time ago, isn't it? 14 years ago. So I know that, again, you know, AEW fans will be like, oh, well, he wrestled in WWE not that long ago. It's like, that's 14 years. So I don't know. I'm a bit torn on it. You talk about one of the greatest wrestlers of all time that I definitely want to see get acknowledged and held in high regards and blah, 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 blah. Should he be competing in 2023? You know, sometimes these wrestlers just need saving from themselves, you know? Like, how many times are we going to have Ric Flair doing what Ric Flair does, you know? That Ric Flair's last match was not good, right? Not good. He was in a really, really bad way. I thought he died at least 3 times in that match. And I know that Ricky's not in that health. He's not in that kind of condition. He seems to be in a good place. But I don't know, man. It doesn't strike me as... I think you could do Ricky Starks versus someone else and have, like, Ricky the Dragon get involved and do something, you know? Cool little moment after, or, you know, Ricky Starks attacks Ricky the Dragon after the match, but Ricky the Dragon starts firing back, you know, and you get like a cool little moment. Like, does it need to be a full match? Does it need to be a full match? Don't know. Bit torn on it. Bit torn on it. My gut says no, I wouldn't do it, but I would definitely have him there, and I'd definitely try to use him in some way. But I don't want him to die, you know. I don't want to hear that he's had a heart attack during the flipping match, because guess what? People of his age shouldn't be flipping pushing themselves to the extent that he is on a pay-per-view of that magnitude. It might be one thing to go work a wrestling match down your local bingo hall. Might be something else if you know that it's a paid pay-per-view in front of, I don't know, 15,000 people being seen by how many around the world. Like, you're probably going to push yourself a little bit further maybe than you should in that sort of environment. So, I don't know. I'm a bit split on it. I do love the legends, though. Defcon Prime and Pirate King Jack said, support the PWO Plastic World Order. That's right. Let's go. In a great feud with Greta Thunderbird at the moment. Let's go. Big Al said Punk will step in for Dragon at the last minute. Big Time said, I think Ric Flair fell asleep whilst trying to do the figure four. Either that or he died. I'm not sure. Days, good evening, Stephen. Shout out to you. Excited to see what Fruity Pebble t-shirt Cena's got. Oh, it's been spoiled already. It is Fruity Pebble. I actually don't mind it. It reminds me of like a racing stripe. Yeah. I won't spoil it, but it's all right. But it's got like a stripe down the middle. And it's like, I don't know, go quicker, John Cena. It's like the kind of thing you'd see on like a sporty old racing car. Will be good to see him. A wonderful show as always. Stephen, shout out to you. Yeah, I saw it because they put out some pictures of him having his photo taken earlier today. So I think it's probably for like the 20, because you know they like to have updated pictures on the superstar roster thing. So I think it's probably just the 2023 sort of updated PNG files and, you know, various little images, whatever. Because those images will be used for posters, future matches, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I saw that. James, hello, shout out to you, said, Days, apparently Punk launched at Tony Khan and shouted that he quits. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. That absolutely could be true. I've heard as well. I think was it from Wrestling Observer? They said that apparently CM Punk was. So Jack Perry came back through the curtain and said, "Look, I was only doing it for heat. I wasn't doing it like as a real pop at you. I was only doing it to get some heel heat." And then CM Punk grabbed him, choked him, went to swing for him. Like, I think the Wrestling Observer are making out like Punk was, you know, really causing all the trouble here. And so, I don't know, there's lots of different sides coming out. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle, you know? Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. It doesn't change how I feel about it. I think that CM Punk is absolutely in the wrong. I've never said he's not in the wrong. But my point still remains that if you are going to bring CM Punk into your company, you have to know this is what's going to happen. Like, you can't bring CM Punk in and then be surprised when these things happen, right? You can't do that. So I think that they have not done a good enough job of... They've not done a good enough job of making sure or limiting, like, you know, this kind of fallout. And I think that Jack Perry as well, as an idiot, he could have limited this, you know. He has to take responsibility. Because if he has done it just to get some heel heat, he ain't run it past CM Punk, has he? He ain't run it past CM Punk. So if he has done it for a bit of heel heat, he should have spoke to Punk first. Well, I'll tell you what, we're starting with SmackDown. So are we starting with SmackDown? Oh, no. I just saw, like, a thing. I was like, we're just going straight to a match. But it's still a replay of last week. They just had a little thing come up for SmackDown. And but actually, all that had happened is we'd come back from a break. I was so confused. Then I was like, we're going straight to a match. Finn Balor, LA Knight. Didn't we see this last week? We did. And it's not time for this week yet. Did you see we got Amrabat and a Greenwood loan to Getafe? I didn't see the Greenwood loan. Was that late? I saw the Amrabat thing. Regular. And we signed Johnny Evans, and we signed some keeper for like 4 million. Just don't know where he came from. Well, I do, Fenerbahce. But no, I didn't see the Greenwood one. Greenwood to Getafe. I wonder how the Getafe fans feel about that. Shows, doesn't it? No big clubs have come in for him. No, you know, he ain't gone to Juventus or AC Milan or Inter Milan or Bayern or... Certainly no one in the Premier League. But, yeah, he ain't gone PSG. He ain't gone to, I don't know, he's ended up going to Getafe. So, it shows, doesn't it? I mean, he is going to have to really go some to rebuild his career now. He's going to have to really go. He's got a big opportunity, though. He should be on his flipping hands and knees thanking Getafe because they have thrown him a lifeline. Obviously, they're getting a good player, but... Yeah, they've thrown him a real lifeline there because if he lights it up, you know, there'll be a lot of people, or maybe the majority, that will never be able to accept him. But if he can light it up and start banging them in, you know, there'll be plenty of people that are like having a little, oh, look at this. Scored 20 in 12 games, has he? So, Jim said Punk could be only suspended until All Out with a match announced on Collision. Maybe. We'll have to see how it plays out. Wrestling Observer revealed that Mercedes Moné was scheduled to wrestle at All In before her injury. The injury actually derailed plans for Forbidden Door and Blood and Guts in her hometown. That's a bad injury, innit? Tell you what, he don't have much luck, does he? He don't have much luck, old Tony Khan. I mean, I feel like you're already a bit of an underdog in regards to you competing against WWE. Think of the power of WWE. Think of their social media presence. Think of all the arrangements and agreements that they've got with different companies, different venues. Like, going up against WWE is, oh, that's a fight, man. That is a fight. So in that regard, he's already an underdog. Like, not loads of big names available to go and sign, but there is one, and it's Mercedes Money, or Monet, or however you want to pronounce it. And you try to get her, and you get her, and you build all these plans, and then she gets injured. She misses the Wembley show. I know she was there, but I mean, it's not really much, is it? She misses the Wembley show. She misses Blood and Guts. She misses Forbidden Door. I mean, that is really unfortunate, man. That is really unfortunate. Kian said, did you see Liverpool signed Gravenberch for 34 million? I'm gassed. We've rebuilt our midfields. It's a very good signing. And you got... thingy, didn't you? McAllister from Brighton. That's also... I don't know about the other guy. You know, the guy that uses all the letters in the alphabet. I don't know much about him. And I haven't been watching Liverpool this season. I know they've only had a few games, but I have no idea. I know that you kept Salah, though. I mean, 150 million came in today. And you turned that down. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to be there or thereabouts for top 4. Don't think you'll challenge for the title. And I'd imagine it will take a little while for these players to settle. But who knows? You could get top 4 this season and be right in with a title challenge next year. So, and I don't think you've got Europe this year, have you? You're in, well, you haven't got Champions League. I think, are you in Conference League or Europa League? That's not a diss. I don't know. I don't know where you finished, but I know it wasn't top 4. So it's not really the same as Champions League, is it? And I'm talking as a Man U fan who's been in Europa League and Conference League. So you could probably afford to just, I suppose if top four's not coming for you, though, if you win Europa League, you get into the Champions League. So it is a way in. So you might have to take it seriously. I don't know. Either way, I think try and get top four and then kick on from there. But yeah, it's some good signings by Liverpool, I do have to say. Evan said, spoiler alert, John Cena and Jimmy are involved in the opening of the show. James said, by far, Brighton had the best signing with Ansu Fati. Yeah, it's a very good signing. Edward, hello, said, do you think Cena wins the title as he's back for a while? No. He's back for like 7 weeks, which is, what, 2 months? So... no, I don't see him getting a title. Lauren said, Liverpool haven't kept Salah yet. The Saudi window closes on the 7th. Oh, I thought they all shut today. Didn't realise the Saudi window was going on for a little bit longer. But they can't get a replacement now, can they? They can't get a replacement. So, unless... I'll tell you what a good deal would be if sell him for, I don't know, 200 million? 180, right? But keep him on loan until January when you can spend the money, and then you'll be able to get a replacement in January. The only thing is, everyone will know that you've just got a big chunk of money, and so all the replacements you would have to think will be a lot more expensive, you know? So that is something you'd have to like take into consideration. Don't know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one. I know that 150 got turned down today. Have to see what they do. Saudi have said they could go up to 200 million. It's almost too good to turn down. Yeah, maybe, but how do you get a replacement? If you lose Salah in September, you've got to do the whole season without Salah. I mean, how much is getting into the Champions League worth? Because if you lose Salah, you might be saying goodbye to top four, right? And that's going to potentially ruin this season and potentially ruin next season as well. Like, I really think unless you can agree to keep him till January, ideally the rest of the season, but you might not be able to do that. But I think at least January, so that you can then get a sign in, spend your money, and actually get a replacement, you know? And, you know, you could at least spend the next few months just going and really scouting potential replacements, really looking for... It's hard to buy in January, but it can be done. It can be done. But I would, if I was Liverpool, I would absolutely insist there would be no deal unless I could keep him till at least January, loan him till January. There'd be no deal. But I'm not Liverpool. Spoiler. Big Time said WWE and Endeavour stock plunged on Wednesday after finding out the Saudis are putting investments for a rival boxing company called PFL. Oh, they're getting into PFL, are they? I know PFL. God, that money. How much money have they got, man? How big is this Saudi investment fund? Because we keep dipping into it, don't we? A lot. But it just keeps growing. Like, I don't know. Can I find out how much is in it? How much is in it? How much is in the Saudi investment fund? $2.2 trillion. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund released its annual report. It said its assets surpassed. Oh, its assets. So what it owns. So that's everything that it owns. So they haven't got 2.2 trillion to spend. The kingdom's sovereign wealth fund reported AUM of 1.98 trillion. But how much money have they actually got to play with? How much have they actually got to invest in stuff? There's a whole Wikipedia page and it means a lot of reading. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Forget that. I'll read the first line. The Public Investment Fund is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. It is amongst the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, with estimated assets of 776 billion. Well, that's not what that just said. 2.2 trillion. It was created in 1971. Oh, it's older than I thought. For the purpose of investing on behalf of the government. The wealth fund is controlled by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. More than 60% of the fund's activities are within Saudi Arabia. Yeah. But I don't know how much they've got to play with. Well, I suppose it's all of it if they were to sell some stuff, but obviously they've already bought stuff with that money. So, well, they've got a lot. Let's put it that way. They've got a lot. They could... how much is WWE? WWE, 6 billion. 6 billion? I'm sure it was about that, wasn't it? 6 billion. 9 billion? 6 or 9 billion. It's around that ballpark. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's 9, actually, because I think Endeavor had UFC and WWE valued their company at about 21 billion. So I think WWE's 9 billion. Saudi Arabia have got 2.2 trillion. They could buy many WWEs. Many. Imagine if they started their own wrestling company. Imagine that. Imagine if Saudi Arabia started their own wrestling company, giving out mental contracts. Ooh. Kappa says, hello, hope you are well. I'm good, thank you. Just Ronda Rousey is the baddest woman on the planet. Super chat / appreciation post. That is all. Kappa Owen, shout out to you. I don't know what I'm doing with Ronda. I don't know what Ronda's doing. I think the idea of her going back to UFC has been poo-pooed. So I don't know quite what she is doing going forward, but certainly wish her all the best. I didn't mind Ronda. I really didn't. I just think you had to... I think she was a celebrity that you had to use right. And for some reason, we stopped using her right. I don't know. I think she's a celebrity that really tried to be a wrestler. So rather than just doing the occasional match once in a while, she started to work like a proper full time. And it became harder to kind of hide her limitations. So really, the fact that she wanted to do it the right way actually worked against her, unfortunately. So, but I got respect for her trying to do it the right way. But, you know, I don't think it's unfair to say that it wasn't quite the snuggest of fits, her being in WWE. And so, you know, she did some good stuff, and that's it. Yeah. I didn't mind. We do have a bit of laggedy lag, and it looks like it's been fixed. That's how we roll. You're not missing anything. We've just got a... open at the moment. Obviously, we are working our way towards John Cena, Jimmy Uso. Don't know who's opening the show here. Acknowledge me. Victoria, shout out to you. I like your I really like your profile picture. That pops. That looks really good. That looks really good. I really like that. What is that? You've played around with, is it the hue? Have you changed the hue of the picture? It looks really good. That is in the running for my favorite profile picture. I think it looks really good. Roman has got a fake laugh. 1 Minute Wrestler said, I've got 300 subs now. Many congrats, bud. Many congrats. You're welcome. Looks cool. Right, here we go. We are going over to the crowd then. So obviously we just had a refresh from a few weeks ago with the Usos. And Jay saying his out is done, walking away. We haven't seen Jimmy or Jay since then. Right, the show is going to open with John. Let's go. Oh, man, look at the CGI as well. Cena making his way out, crowd going bananas. The champ is here. John Cena opening the show. Place going bananas. The champ is back. King Yeti said, I acknowledge you, my wrestling watch-along chief. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everyone joining us. I appreciate the energy that John Cena has just brought to proceedings. John Cena in attendance, making his way down to the ring. Please welcome John Cena. So Cena in his new shirt. It's kind of like a light blue. It's very golf. You know, I'm trying to think. There's a watch. There's a Tag Heuer watch. It's like golf colors, like racing colors. It's light blue with orange down the center. And it's all on his Titantron and everything. This is his color scheme that we're going for this run. I'm sure this shirt is going to absolutely fly off the shelves at WWE Shop. Don't forget to use the link in the codes in the description. Right, here's Cena. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Okay, so where's this going to go? That's the question. Cena's here, but what's he here for? Cena. He gets so much love. Back in the day, it was let's go Cena. Cena sucks. You've given me 20 years of moments. Big cheer for John. It never gets old. It gets better. Every time it gets better. Every time I get in this ring, I'm going to do my best to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've given and everything you continue to give. He talks about coming home. You've given me a chance. So he said he's going to be here for months. Not for one night only, but for months. Talking about going to India to have his first match out. They're going to go mental in India for him. Man, they're going to go banana. You've given me the opportunity to host Payback tomorrow night. So he is the host of Payback. So John Cena hosting Payback tomorrow. I'll do my best to give back to you. After everything you've given to me, I'll do my best to give back to you. Okay. We're going to give you an epic Smackdown tonight. Let's go. Let's go. It better be. We're going to give you some answers tonight. Answers to those questions that are on your minds. Because of the energy, because of the electricity, because of the noise. How's this? What the hell is this music? I was like, who's this? Starts off with some sort of like chamber music. I thought he was going to come out with like a quill. Jimmy Uso with new music, man. Straight from the 1700s. Oh, why, Mr. Darcy? I wasn't expecting you today. Let's go. Let's go. Straight from Downton Abbey. It's Jimmy Uso. That's not, man. I'm not sure about the start of that music. I am not sure about the start of that music. I thought the Scarlet Pimpernel was walking out. Oh, man. Let's go. He needs a ruffle. He needs a ruffle around his neck. One of those big ruffle things. Ah, I enjoyed that. Kind of music I expect Pretty Deadly to come out to. I mean, it does kind of hit. It's only the intro. But at first, those are the images I have in my mind. Right, anyway, Jimmy's come out and he's confronting John Cena. Why, Jim, why? Why is he interrupting John Cena? I don't care if each and every one of you that sit in these seats disagree, but I love my brother. King Yeti said, I want John Cena to come out to Do You Want to Taste It? Sure, let's go. Let's change everyone's entrance music, but I want it all to be from the 1700s. I didn't want Jey Uso to be corrupted like John Cena. What's going on? What's this? Look at you. Why has he got a problem with John Cena? This is you. I have an identifiable fashion sense, yes. You a goat. You're a goat, but you're standing in the ring with one of the best now. You and Roman are exactly alike. How is John Cena like Roman? It's damn simple. You take. Okay. You do yours with a smile. I don't mind that. You're just like Roman. You take. I need to stop you for a second. Well, it stopped anyway, John. Don't worry about it. You've got a lot on your mind. You probably think about a lot of things. Steps to him. I've been wanting to say this to you for 3 years. I've only been thinking of one thing. Do you want to say for 3 years? The wrong Uso quits. You wanted to say that for 3 years. Why did you want to say that for 3 years? The wrong Uso quits. Jimmy goes to super kick. Cena has got Jimmy Uso. AA. Oh! I don't really quite understand why he wanted to say 3 years ago the wrong Uso quit, but John Cena AA's Jimmy Uso is quite the development. John Cena sucks, but he's all right. Cena AA's Jimmy. Jimmy got AA'd right back to the 1700s. Right back to the 1700s. Gonna grab his quill. His script. His papyrus. He's gonna write it down. Today was a good day. Right, we're backstage with Grayson Waller. John Cena, the host of WWE Payback. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory burst out laughing. So Grayson Waller's talking about Theory reclaiming his stolen United States Championship. Chris said, I went to Wembley for All In. It was amazing. Chris, shout out to you. Cena looks the best he's looked since 2021, said Houston. A heel turn would be epic, said Jeremy. Santos, uno leg. Viva la raza. Well, explosive open, innit? Explosive open days. Cena gets bolder and bolder with every new appearance. Here's Santos. Santos and Ray versus Grayson and Theory. Swan 9. Boyaka. Rey Mysterio. Right, Rey Mysterio making his way down to the ring. If you are just joining us, we had an open. And that open saw John Cena, AA, Jimmy Uso. It's a good segment, actually. Good segment. Fun. I wish CM Punk would come back or Ryback, but Vince doesn't want Ryback. Know what I mean, says Gamer Ryan. I know what you mean. Okay, so looks like we're going to commercial break. Rey Mysterio. Right, fun. Let's go. What do I need? I need to do this tomorrow night. So, little advert for Payback. Coach Co, shout out to you, bud. Coach Co says, big stretch. You've got to say big stretch. Every time I do a big stretch, you know that's the rules. When a puppy walk is about to go down, big stretch. I do a big stretch. Go low to the ground. Big stretch. Big stretch. I used to love Big Stretch. I loved his match against Floyd Mayweather at WrestleMania 24. It's good. Better than I was expecting, actually. Better than I was expecting. Right. Let's have a look, shall we? We've got John Cena. Got a couple of videos. Let's do a quick video. So, big opening segment coming out of SmackDown. John Cena opens the show. He was thanking the crowds, but then Jimmy Uso, with new theme music, came down to the ring and basically said that John Cena was the same as Roman Reigns. He said that all you do is take. The difference is that John does it with a smile on his face compared to Roman, obviously, who doesn't. This was a good, interesting little back and forth. Then we saw Jimmy go to deliver a super kick after John said the wrong Uso had quit. He went for the super kick. It didn't land, and John Cena ends up hitting an AA on Jimmy Uso. So we know that John Cena is going to be Payback. He's going to be the host of Payback. What we don't know is this just a one-off open to SmackDown that doesn't go anywhere? Or is this going to be the feud? Is it going to be Jimmy against John? And this is going to be a match we're going to build towards? Or was this just a one-off confrontation? At this point, we don't know. But a very explosive open to this week's SmackDown. Right, commercial break. We are commercial breaking. Edward said, I didn't expect you to reply, as you usually don't reply till a Tuesday. To be honest, it's not that I don't reply. It's just if I see them or not. So if I do see emails at the time, then I will try and respond to them. But sometimes I don't see them straight away. So it's just one of those. If I see it, I'll try and respond to it. But normally I don't see them until I reply. Big Match John on SmackDown every week. Got months. Hang on. Let me try and revisit that. Big Match John on SmackDown every week. Every show will have a big feel to it. Wrestle Andy, shout out to you. BB Yipsy said, Days, if Jay was done with WWE, he's not. They would not keep showing him. Also, there's a rumor I heard Rikishi makes an appearance. Manu might return and join the Bloodline. Yeah, I mean, Jay is... I mean, that's just a storyline. He's not really done. He will be back. He might be taking some time away. So it could be that we don't see him for a hot minute. But no, I totally expect him to return. Just as we are about to return to SmackDown, obviously we are returning to Rey and Santos against Theory and Grayson. Not the most exciting of matches in the world, but in all fairness, we could... I wonder if we'll see John again. I actually don't know if we'll see John again or if that was it for John. Oh, we're backstage with Jimmy. Backstage with Jimmy. So Jimmy walking around backstage. Someone got in his way. I don't know what that backstage segment was, to be honest. Selena Vega. Is Grayson Waller then? I think John Cena versus Jimmy Uso would be a heck of a match, says Leonard. Hawkins said, why would they want to bring Cena back to Raw to bump up those ratings? SmackDown seems to be doing well without him. Well, SmackDown's doing well because of Roman and the Bloodline story, but it could be that Roman's going away for a little bit. I mean, Roman's not at Payback. We haven't seen Roman in a couple of weeks. So it could just be that they're going to use Cena to keep that ball rolling. SmackDown without Bloodline, SmackDown without Roman. Little bit of a concern. So, yeah, I can see why we're doing it. Right, here we go. A-Town down. Down. Austin Theory. This is a young man that doesn't require a rocket to be strapped to his back because, to be quite honest, this man is the rocket. He's a rocket man, in the words of Elton John. Anyone on here mentioned Cena's probably back because of the Hollywood writer strike. It has nothing else to do, said Derek. Yeah, it's a good point. I think that he was going to come back anyway for that one-off show, but him sticking around is, as a result, likely of that writer strike. Yeah, good point. Logan said, I'm sick, but I'm still going to join you in the chat. Let's go. I hope you feel better soon, buds. You've got to be feeling pumped for this show. This is a tasty SmackDown tonight. Anytime you've got like John Cena on the show, you just know that it's going to massively grab people's attention. There's going to be a lot of buzz around. So, yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. I can't sleep without thinking about Bray's death, said Bryson. It's difficult. I really would urge that you jump into some of those Bray Wyatt fan clubs if you're not already, because I think if you are still really like struggling with it, and it is something that's still really consuming your thoughts, there's a lot of people there that will be in the same boat. That's it helps to talk about these things. It really helps to talk. Sometimes just talking just lifts it off your shoulders, doesn't it? Sometimes it can feel a bit like a weight. And so if you do talk, then it can like get it off your chest. So yeah, those groups or like discords to do with Bray, I would imagine they're full of people that are just, talking about how they're dealing with it, sharing their favorite memories and moments, and I think that could be quite helpful if you haven't joined one of them already. I think trying to just do it on your own sometimes, trying to, it can be difficult. Mitchell said, we're getting John Cena and Cody versus Theory and Waller. Are we getting Cena and Cody versus Theory and Waller? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't know if these two are going to stay as a team for a while or what the plan is. Wrestling said, who do you prefer, Theory or Waller? I think they are both slightly different, to be honest. I think that I've seen a lot more in-ring from Theory than I have from Grayson Waller. So I think that against the right people, I think Theory is capable of really putting in a fantastic match. I don't know that I've seen a really fantastic match out of Grayson, but I do believe he can do it. I know that Theory can talk, and I know that he's fun, and I know he's got good character work, because when he was in the way, he was really entertaining. He was really fun. So I like him when he was in the way. I was a big fan of what he did in that group. He's been in Evolve. He's had some good matches. It's just that his creative right now, I don't know. It's not clicked. I can't be the only one that thinks that it's just flat, just really flat. I feel like Austin Theory has got such potential. And I think that he's capable of great matches. I think he is capable of doing some really good promos. I think Grayson Waller might have the nod on the promos. I think Waller's got the slight edge on the promos. I think Theory's got the slight edge on the matches. They actually complement each other really well. As a tag team, they make a really great tag team. But yeah, as to who I prefer, I would lean Theory, but I think they've both got really high potential. Really high potential. I'm only leaning Theory because I've seen more of Theory. And he had some really good matches. I remember seeing some of his stuff down in NXT, singles matches that I was really enjoying. I have enjoyed Grayson's matches, but not to the same extent. So, yeah, I would be leaning Theory, but I really like both. Both are top-tier talents. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say they're the John Cena, Randy Orton of this generation, but I do think both have got potential to be main event world champion talents. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if these two went on to both be multiple-time world champions, both main event in WrestleMania. That would not surprise me in the slightest. I think they are both serious talents. I can't remember what I was saying. I was talking about something else and I can't remember what it was. Can't have been important. Grayson Waller tagging in Theory. Yeah, oh, that's what I was going to say. Theory feels a bit flat. Theory to me feels like a big bottle of Coke that you've shook up. Like, I feel like you've opened it. It's sprayed everywhere. It's like been quite impressive. And I think that was Theory when he was kind of down in NXT. He was quite impressive. He was doing some really fun stuff. As we said, loved him with the way. And now it's flat. Now it's just completely flat. There's no life to it at all. It's just dead. It's just flat. That's how I feel about Austin Theory. We need to recarbonate him. Has anyone got a soda stream? We need a soda stream to rejuvenate Austin Theory. He's just a little bit flat. Godfather So said, very lifted. Did you look at the Rodman news? Did you hear that Rodman supposedly broke his bone having relations with Carmen Electra? Look that up. It's true facts. I'm all right, thank you. As fun as that sounds, that's news that I don't need to know about. Call me old-fashioned. Call me old-fashioned. I don't need to be aware of these things. But God bless him. Lance said, did you hear that a TV monitor fell on Tony Khan during the Punk Jack Perry scuffle? No. Did it? That's funny. He loves being on TV, though, doesn't he? He loves being on TV. Santos is in then. Duck underneath. Against the ropes goes Santos. He explodes at Grayson Waller. Again, collides into Waller. Waller goes down. Waller over in the corner. Again, we've got Santos on the outside. Top rope Inzaguri. Looking for a crossbody. Nice crossbody there by Santos. 2 count. 2 count. Coach Co said also Arsenal assessments, Amelia Alarm, Amelia Amendments, Annette's Amendment, American Anaheim, Annual Animal, Amend Amirate Awards, Smear Asania. What are we doing, Coach Co? Sometimes I would just like to know what it is we're even doing. Like, I don't mind it, but just what is it? What are we doing? Where have you got it from? I feel like you copy a lot of text from places, and sometimes I just want to know where they're from. Like, where's that from? What is this? Where's this from? What even is it? Answers on a postcard. Ray and Santos are in the ring. Mitchell said, Coach Co's Super Chat is brought to you by the letter A. Yeah, but where's it from? What is it? Just a list of A words, isn't it? Ray spills Theory to the outside. Oh, lovely. Lovely stunner by Grayson Waller on Santos, and he gets the win. Rolling Thunder from down under. Wow. There's a sign in the crowd that says Grayson who? Waller. Well, in case you didn't know, Waller. So, Santos moves Ray out of the way. Theory Goes after the left knee. Ray and Theory spilled to the outside. That meant that Santos was in the ring on his own. Boom! 1, 2, 3. Well, there we go. Bit of a shock win there. Wasn't expecting those two to pick up the victory. Suppose I should have, though, because obviously Theory is going to be competing against Ray at Payback tomorrow. Here's Michin. Here's Jimmy Uso. This is why I called you in here. Can't be rude to the crew. So Adam Pearce has a word with Jimmy Uso. Bad attitudes. Bad attitudes. I don't know how Trinity puts up with him. And his 1700s theme music. Here's Bibbidi Bob. Bibbidi Bobbidi. Bibby and the Prophets. Oh my God, the greatest band. Imagine the hits they could have. Bibby and the Prophets. Oh my God, what a band name. What a band name. Bobby making his way down to the ring. He's in a suit. Suited and booted, baby. Bobby Lashley. Bibbles. Have you seen the trailer for the wrestling documentary on Netflix? No. Is it the OVW one that people keep mentioning? I haven't seen it. Bibi Yipsy said, I want Haku to come back for an appearance and show Solo what a real enforcer looks like. Zoom Station said, Jimmy is doing too much. Gamer Ryan said, I wish AEW would stop stealing WWE wrestlers over on the crowds. Like who? But who have they stolen? Who have they stolen? Did he just botch his entrance? I didn't. Did they just botch his entrance? I didn't see a botch. Was there a botch? Days. How many members left in the Bloodline? It's a small group. Imagine if Seth joins Bloodline. Do you think Zion Quinn will join Bloodline? Not expecting Zion Quinn to join the Bloodline. It is Solo and Roman. That's it. Solo and Roman. I mean, I think if he loses the title at WrestleMania 40, I'm guessing that's the Bloodline story done. You know, that would have been 4 years. Well, just shy. That's a hell of a story. That's a hell of a run in it. So I don't know. I can't say I'm expecting Zion Quinn to join. Zoom Station said WWE don't know what to do with Bibby. Bryson said, what if Cena signs a multi-year contract back to WWE? Well, then his Hollywood career has definitely gone south. I mean, that's the reason. Well, that and his age. So I can't see it happening because of the films and Hollywood and everything. But as was mentioned earlier, because he's got there is a writer's strike at the moment, he's got a bit of spare time. Edward, shout out to you. Said, Days, hope you're doing well. Kojiko is an AI bot. Oh my God, could you imagine if it was? Imagine if Kojiko was just an AI bot and I'd spent all this time thinking it was a real person. Do you imagine that? Amazing. Where's the AI? How's the AI bot sending in super chats though? That would be my question. Is AI generating? Well, in all fairness, it does generate a lot of income. Yes, it does. I was going to say, how's AI getting like disposable income? But saying that, you know, I mean, think of all the people that use AI and subscribe to different AI products. It's probably as rich as the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So maybe you're right, buds. Maybe you're right. Perhaps Kojiko is a glimpse of the future. Perhaps Kojiko is AI starting to creep into our worlds. Don't know how I feel about it. Don't know how I feel about it. Wait a minute. Last time Cena was on, he said he wasn't sure if he could wrestle again because of his age. Yes, but also because of his age, he's forgotten that he said that. So it's fine. It checks out. Brayton said, Days, imagine John Cena against LA Knight. Tricky. Just because LA Knight is so over, like, would you want the crowd to be against John Cena? Because I think you are splitting the crowd hard there. You are splitting the crowd hard. I feel like it would be a fun verbal exchange. It'd be a fun back and forth. But as a feud, I think you could do a segment, but as a feud, you are really splitting them. I do like Cena working with newer talent, though. I did say that, and I stand by that. Okay, Michin talking to OC. Here's AJ. She's so upset about Jimmy disrespecting her. It is a big deal. I just think some of these things are just being really blown out of proportion. It wasn't that bad. Why is she going and moaning to like the OC and AJ about what Jimmy just did? It wasn't that bad. Right, Bibbs is in the ring. There are no profits. I put the profits, but they're not actually out there. I lied. I lied. Get over it. You guys know how to make someone feel good, says Bobby. He looks great, man. Everywhere I go. Everyone keeps asking me the same question. What's the question? What's the question, Bibbs? What's the question, mate? Someone says, I love you, and he says, I love you too. What's happening with you in the Street Profits? Oh, okay. Real recognizes real. Great recognizes great. I'd have loved 2 hours of Bobby just saying, like, real recognizes real, great recognizes great, good recognizes good, awesomeness recognizes awesome. Just 2 hours of him going down a list of that. I'd be quite happy. I'd be like, oh, what's he going to do next? Excellence recognizes excellence. I didn't think of that one. Oh, the stupid red cups, man. The stupid red cups. Flipping get rid of the red cups. You got these people coming out in suits. The suit profits. The suit profits. Yeah, there's a new attitude. They're looking classy. You don't want red cups dripping all over the place. Get rid of them. Stupids. I've always been stupid. I've never liked the red cup thing. I don't even think they sell them, do they? Do they sell them? They should sell them, surely. Street Profits, red cups. That seems like a no-brainer. Perhaps they are, and that's why they're not getting rid of it. It's like Lily all over again. It's just like Lily. Couldn't kill that thing. This could be how we get Montez to his singles push. They should carry around wine glasses now, said inside. They should, yeah. They should. Imagine them raining down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Barbie. Tonight, it's not about us. Tonight, it's about us giving the gratitudes to you. It's been a long time since we had this much success. What success? We sexy, says Montez. You know that Bianca's backstage going, oh yeah. Bobby's helped us see the bigger picture. Is. Was. Is. Are they trying to get that over as a catchphrase? Because it sucks. Was. Is. Okay, we could go on for days and days. Please don't. We've only got 2 words for you. Suck it. Thank you. Not great from the Profits, is it? Clunky? You can thank me with your continued success. What success? What have they done? Give me a group name, would you? That's all I care about. We're putting everyone in notice. Going for power. Control. Here we go. Championship gold. We are coming for it all. Oh, I thought we were going to get a name. I thought he was going to go, we are the dogs of hell, or something like that. We are the Red Cup boys. Yeah! Red Cup boys. Red Cup boys. Red Cup boys. We're coming for championships. That's what he said. We're coming for it all. I don't know if they're faces or heels. I think they're heels, but they're acting like faces. Okay. Okay. Kevin Owens. Right, here's KO. Making his way out. Red Cup boys are in the entranceway. Red Cup boys getting all the red cups. Let's go. Let's go. Here's Sami Zayn. They should bring in Omos, an MVP, to be the next bloodline. Easy, said Sakilla. Dawkins doesn't look right in a suit. He looks like Titus 2.0. Oh, these two are in a tag match next. I thought they were confronting them, but they're not. Na-na. Ra-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Montez singing the song. One thought. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Okay, so Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against Cruz del Toro and Whackin' Wild. LWO could have just stayed out there, couldn't they? Could have just stayed out there. Sami Zayn, KO versus some LWO people. Fun question. What's your favorite chant of all time? Favorite chant of all time. Not "This is awesome." Not "Fight Forever." Not what? No, man, I don't know if I've got a favourite chant. I remember, do you know one that took me by surprise? Sasha's Ratchet. That took me by... I remember tuning into NXT when I first got NXT, got the network, and the crowd were chanting Sasha's Ratchet, Sasha's Ratchet. I was like, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? I think it's a bad thing. I still don't quite know what it means, but I think it means like Sasha's rubbish. You know? So I'd never heard that before. Sasha's Ratchet. We've had another recent one, haven't we? Whoop That Trick. We've been talking a lot about that. That's another one that I don't remember being around before. Shoes Off. If You Hate Gibson was another one from NXT UK. Shoes off if you hate Gibson. Everyone taking their shoes off, holding them in the air. That was pretty fun. The Hey Bailey ones. I like the little songs. I like the ones that are quite funny, you know? I like the funny ones. So like the Hey, Hey Bailey, ooh, ah. But that, you know, anything that gets like overdone is just, ugh. Once you hear it like so many times, I get bored of them. So yeah, I think like This Is Awesome was probably good at the start. I can't remember what I thought at the start. Fight Forever. I think at the beginning those like really added to matches. Like if you got that chance, you knew that it was like, oh my God, look at this. This is awesome. Fight Forever. Like, you know, it did add to the match. Now I feel like we just get it all the time. Do you know what I mean? You bang average matches, just get This Is Awesome. So they've kind of, it's completely lost its impact now. First time I heard Fight Forever was Sammy and Nakamura, says Mitchell. It's been a solid first hour. Oh yeah, 50 minutes already. My favorite chant is Bray is gonna kill you, said Silver. That's always good. Such and such is gonna kill you. Rest of that, he said, not so much a chant, but the fans talking along with the Road Dogg during the Outlaws entrance. Yeah, that was always good. That added to it, definitely. Payback seems unimportant, says Prince Moolah. I love the Hey Bailey chant because my granddad uses the original song for his walkout theme for darts. Oh, man. That's one of the coolest comments I've ever read. I love literally everything about that comment, Woopak. I love everything about that comment. I love comments that like paint a mental picture, and that really painted quite a vivid mental picture. Coach Co said supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, open to the mass for the care for the baby that attached to the tattoo. Don't know what they mean by tickle pee-pee. I don't think anyone knows what you mean by any of your messages, Coach Co. I agreed with Mitchell when it looked like we were on the A's. That's got nothing to do with the B's. In fact, it's got very little to do with anything. So I have no idea what Koji Co is on about. But I just hope Koji Co is happy, as always. That's all I hope. Much loved member of this community who I think is malfunctioning. Hayden, hello. I don't feel like I've seen you in a hot minute, Hayden. Hayden said he's got the whole world in his hands. The crowd singing that at WrestleMania 30. Hope you well, Hayden. Nathan said, I would like to see Payback tomorrow. I hope someone beats Roman. Oh, Roman's not on the card at the moment, unfortunately. So I don't think we're going to see anyone beating Roman tomorrow, but I don't mind that. I don't mind Roman not being on the card because I think it just puts a bit more of a spotlight on Rhea's match and on Seth's match. If Roman was on the card, then that could overshadow those matches. I think there is a real argument for not having Roman on every pay-per-view because it keeps him special. And also it doesn't overshadow some of those other titles. So I'm pretty down for tomorrow. No Roman, no Usos. We've absolutely ticked that box. We've ticked that box firmly. I mean, they just dominate whatever show they're on. So this is going to really allow some other people to shine. So Rhea against Raquel and Seth versus Shinsuke. Proper excited for that. That move, that was sick. That was flipping sick. Oh my God. He just flipped over. Del is... Did you see some of the stuff? I mean, he has just been planted, but did you see some of the stuff that Del Toro just did? Oh my God. I tell you what, in 2023, to be seeing some stuff that you just have never seen, like, that was amazing how he went to the outsides. I love that kind of 360 kind of kick as well. It's a win for Kevin and Sammy, but for me, Del Toro really doing some impressive stuff there. Wow. Respect. Tom Jenkins, stop buying up all the mini trucks. Yeah, Tom. You flipping loser. Sick. BB said, I emailed you a video about the Red Solo Cups. It's much better how to present the Red Solo Cup. Okay. I will watch that video. Really bad day for LWO. Here's Sammy. Want you to know right now. Tomorrow night. It's not going to be fun. Okay, thanks. Might skip it then. Might skip it if it's not going to be fun. Just want you to know tomorrow night, it's not going to be fun. Well, quick win for the tag champs. Don't know why they made them wrestle just 24 hours before a big title defense, but whatevs. Here's Jimmy, AJ, stepping up to Jimmy. What you gonna do? Oh, there's Solo. Solo's got some... You're out the bloodline when you say you're out the bloodline? You out the bloodline when you say you're out the bloodline? Why didn't he just go, I'm out the bloodline? He didn't say it, did he? He didn't say I'm out the bloodline. What did he say? He said, you, Paul Roman, can't tell me anything. What's that mean? I tell you what. You know when, like, you're a teenager and your emotions are all over the place and you're just a bit of a mess? I think that's Jimmy Uso right now. I think he's going through puberty. He seems like a hot mess. It's all over the place, isn't he? Barging in to see Adam Pearce, upsetting Meechin, getting in the face of AJ. Solo's like, oh, you're out when you tell me you're out. And then he's like, he's coachy-coded him, isn't he? He's responded with something that doesn't make any sense. He interrupted John Cena earlier. Oh, he's a hot mess. He's a hot mess. He needs a holiday. There's a lot of changes going on in Jimmy's body. I think that's what it is, but I think that's what it is. We've all been there. We've all been there. I ain't judging. It's just a bit late going through it, that's all. Deuces, ooses, said Dark Angel. Solo said, when we say, says Amy. Oh, I thought you said you're out the bloodline when you say you're out the bloodline. Did he say when we say you're out the bloodline? Oh, that does make a bit more sense now. EWF said, did you have any more advice on how to be successful with 55 subs? Did I give advice before? I mean, I do have advice, and that is post regular and post about things that people are talking about and are interested in. It's always harder posting about things that people aren't talking about or isn't a topic of conversation. So look to see what people are talking about and share your opinions on that, because people will be more engaged in those topics. And I also think I'm a big believer in when you're first starting using like Twitter and Facebook to share your videos and like build up a bit of a following that way. Because it's hard on YouTube to get seen when you first start him. So you sort of need to build a bit of community away from YouTube, and then you can share your videos there, and then hopefully people will check them out, and then that will help. And it's a process, man. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. The Bloodline think they run everything, says AJ, but they don't. I'm going to handle this. I want Solo. Here's Gallows and Anderson are like, we don't need to get involved. Look at Meechin. She's a proper little... Isn't she? Stirring it up. Meechin's ready to go, man. Gallows and Anderson are like, we don't need this smoke. Right. Here's the Miz. If it is the Miz. It is the Miz. I did wonder if it was going to be LA Knight responding. But it's going to be the LA Knight part of the show. The Miz. Whatever AJ says, I'm on board for, says Mitchell. Ledge Killer said, Jimmy Uso's trying to be like CM Punk. I'm changing my cable provider if you don't fix this, says Corey. What's wrong with your cable, Corey? Days, I'm taking weightlifting classes in high school, and I am sore after one workout. You will be, buds. You will be. Coach Coach said to anyone going back to school, here we go. Sit down, get ready. Because you know what Coach Co's like? Full of good advice. Makes a lot of sense. And full of good advice. Here we go. To anyone going back to school, drop out. Only losers go to school. I dropped out and I'm doing fine. What happens if you tickle your pee? Tickle pee! So, if you would like to be just like Kojiko, if you're looking at Kojiko thinking, that's definitely the future for me, then drop out of school. And you could reach those dizzy heights. You too can make 0 cents on a wrestling live stream. Watch along on a regular basis. Just got to dream big, kids. You've just got to dream big. Here's the Miz. Tomorrow at Payback, LA Knight will be competing in the biggest match of his career. It's not an insult. It's just a fact. Yeah. LA Knight is not on my level. He's not half the star I was 10 years ago. Here's LA Knight. The sweetest place on earth, just about melted down. Where are we? Where's the sweetest place on earth? Are we in the chocolate factory? Is this live from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Let's go. LA Knight has made his way down to the ring. This should be a fun back and forth. Okay, LA Knight looking out at the fans. Talk to you. I used to hate The Miz when I was younger, but I understand now what he is and his purpose, said J-Love. You did one of your infamous cosplay dress-up times. Done The Rock. Done John Cena. And now he's done LA Knight. And do you know what all three of them have in common? All three of those guys are people that you want to be, but you can't. You say it's easy being LA Knight. I've worked every dirty job I could. Slight misstep by LA Knight. Quite a rare misstep, actually. You say I'm not on your level, you're right. You came in from a reality show and you got to ride the elevator up. It's you that's not on my level. You have failed where I have succeeded. You was on the show called The Hero, and you couldn't even be the hero. You was the first eliminated. You was on a reality show, but no one would know you was. I succeed because I'm a star. You wasn't even the star of your own show. That was your wife. Tiny Balls chance. Sign in the crowd said Miz sucks. Send your wife my regards. That's lovely. When I send her a broken, battered husband, she'll be empty inside. But when she calls me, we can fix it real quick. Cutting promos into your hairbrush, pretending you're a WWE superstar. All those years of doing that have really paid off for you. Miz was on The Real World. He said a racist thing, says Mr. Cardinal. LA Knight still not better on the mic than The Miz during this feud, said J-Love. I'm the wrong superstar for you. I crush hopes and dreams of superstars all the time. This Saturday, when you lose, okay. When was the last time The Miz won? I think he won not long ago, actually. I thought the same thing. I think there was a victory for him not too long ago. He did lose to Akira Tozawa, though. It's hard to think about The Miz stealing hopes and dreams when he lost to Akira Tozawa the other week. But I think before that, I think he did get a bit of a shock win over someone. Murray at Payback. At Payback. You'll get stomped out. Miz goes for a shot. I feel like this promo went too long. I think they both had some good lines. I would have cut it a bit shorter. Skull crush him. You want to talk about future? That's your future. I looked it up. Miz has had 30 matches and he's lost 29. Good going. Miz has got the upper hand actually this time, said Bryson. LA Knight is killing Miz. AB Jobson said Miz and his wife copying Cena and Nikki Bella is where Shaky, not Amora, debuted. Michael said, this is a bad SmackDown. Zoom Station said, this is a fire promo. LA Knight gets up and attacks Miz from behind. So these two fighting in the entranceway. Miz runs away. Because I'm the Miz and I'm awesome, says Hayden. Carnage is what Damage Control will have to go through. Okay, we're backstage with Bianca. Giblets 316. Bryson said this is an entertaining SmackDown tonight. Sonny said update about the book may be published on Sunday. 84 pages of poetry, maybe around $14 to buy. I was thinking 11.11, still working on the price. Available in UK, Canada, Denmark, and USA. Sonny, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Here's Damage Control. Is this going to be Bayley against Shotzi? They didn't announce this before, if it is. Yeah, that's from the Go Home for Money in the Bank, isn't it? Where they cut the hair. That was at the O2. Up next, Shotzi versus Bayley. This is a different Shotzi. Bailey's like, right, let's go. More violence and yelling, please. Bianca off air. Is she pregnant? Not aware she's pregnant. Mitchell said, what's your halftime score? I think it's been fun. I would say about 6.5. I love seeing Cena. Well, let's see what people think, because we've just gone to commercial break, so... Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat.
Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this.
I just saw Drift Zone asking who do we think will win out of Miz LA Knight. I think it'll be LA Knight. I think you could have an argument for Miz cheating a victory to extend the feud because there's no real rush for this to end straight away. You know, I think people are enjoying the back and forth between them. I thought there was some good back and forth that both had there, but as I said, for me, probably just outstayed its welcome, just a touch. Probably could have done with it, like, you know, a minute or two being shaved off. But I think you could continue the feud. So if you're going to continue the feud, you might have Miz win. If Miz does win, there'll be plenty of LA Knight is being buried comments. But you'd only do it so the feud continues. But I'm expecting it to be LA Knight that wins. Right, Paul with a 3, Greg with an 8, Seth freaking Rollins with a 7.5, Isaac with an 8, Hayden with a 6, Trey with a 5, My Phenomenal Figures with a 6, Chris with a 9, Kian said Miz was in his prime, 2016, 2018, my score is a 7. You should really get that recorded one day. That is true, actually. It is a bit of an inconvenience having my twin brother do it in like a second camera just at the side. That is a slight inconvenience. Anthony says 10. Green Beans with an 8. Dark Angel said a number score doesn't do this show justice. It's epic. Bailey Shotzi at Fastlane says Boomers. Paul with a 3. Mary with an 8.5. Bryson with an 8. King Yeti said 6.5. My Phenomenal Figures with a 6. Zoom Station said a good go-home show. I agree. For a go-home show, it is good. Trini says 7. Eamon with a 7. What's your score? I agree. 6.5, 6.75. I'm around that ballpark. John said 6.1. Good to see Cena. Everything since then has been a bit meh. Days, I think Maurice will return and help the Miz win. That's why they're mentioning Maurice, said Drift Zone. That would be good. That would make sense. That would make sense. Silver Bandit said 6.5. Jordan said 6. J-Love said 7. Brutalities said 6. Sonny said 6. Daniel Meller said 6.5. Ray says 8. Michael said 6.9. Looks like 69. Legend Killer with a 6. Kieran with a 6. Eddie said, when is Bailey gonna stab Io in the back so she can challenge for the title? I don't know, right? But we did a members watch along for Payback 2020. And I loved seeing 2020 Bailey again because she is so confident, arrogant. She's so commanding. It's Bailey Dosh straps. You know, she's got the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions with Sasha. And she is so commanding. She is so, like, I am the shiz. Here, she feels so like she's just playing second fiddle. She really feels like she's just in the background, like, of her own group. So, yeah, I miss that Bailey. I think she's being presented as a bit too weak. Shotzi has kind of grown her hair into spikes. She's gone full on punk. It's quite the look, isn't it? She could be in the new Sonic the Hedgehog if she dyes it blue. It could be a weapon as well. She's the closest we've ever come to a cactus. A wrestling cactus. Bailey's like, what's this? What's going on? Is she allowed to wrestle with those spikes? Bailey trying to get out the ring, kick to the midsection, but Shotzi grabs the boots. Big shots coming in by Shotzi in the corner. Shotzi with new hair. She is portraying a bit more of a demented persona, isn't she, Shotzi? Clotheslines there by Shotzi. Big shots coming in on Bailey, who's down. It's a Gareth Gates tribute. Oh, there's a blast from the past. There's a blast from the past. Kick coming in. Where's Logan? He only appears on the pay-per-view, says Chris. Yeah, well, and big pay-per-views as well. He ain't doing something like a payback. Beyonce. Did he call Beyonce? Beyonce. Shots coming in there by Bailey. Her hair is going quickly. Cactus Jack's sister. Cactus Blackheart, said Dark Angel. Cactus Blackheart. Let's go. Let's go. Right. 40 minutes left of the show. Bailey. That's quite funny from Bailey. Bailey grabbed Shotzi's head. She was like, do you remember when I did that? Do you remember when I did this? Insecurity, step up Insecurity by Cactus Woman. She's going to the outsides, grabbing Bailey, dragging her to the outsides, hurling her. Whoa, flipping her over, actually. Sonic grabbing Bailey, flipping her over again. Big smile on her face as she gets onto the edge of the ring. She came out in a tank as well, by the way. They haven't, like, massively changed everything about Shotzi. Ori, I think's howling as we go to commercial break. Mitchell said, if Carrion screws AJ in that match, I'ma lose it. Scottish Nightmare said she looks like a real-life anime character. David said, this has been a great SmackDown so far. Serious Gaming said the crowd are dead AF. I don't blame them. They didn't build this. I didn't even know we were getting this. Crowd could not care less for this match, said WWE AEW fan. Crowd knows that Shotzi is not going anywhere, says Davids. It is true. I mean, I sort of feel like there was no announcement of this. There was no preview of this. Yes, these two have been feuding, but I think didn't we even step away for a bit. I feel like even though we had the Bray news last week and the show was kind of changed and everything, I still think it's been a few weeks since we've seen Shotzi, so it's just been very inconsistent, hasn't it, the builds? I think it would have been better to have had Shotzi come out, confront Bailey after Bailey had, won a match against someone else, and then build it for next week and do something for next week. But yeah, it does feel a bit throwaway. I like Shotzi. I hope Dribble H gives her a push, said Victoria. Carrion and his stable are coming, says Prince Moolah. Travis said, look in my eyes. What do you see? I'm choking out Jack Perry. You want real glass? I disagree. I took the tube to Wembley. David said, Shotzi has as much chance of winning as AJ. Aubrey said, this show needs more aggro. We need Jungle Boy backstage. Big Time Back said, do you think Whacking Wild and Cruz del Toro have been treated like ghosts during this LWO run? They're being showcased a lot more until Ray joined the group. Yeah, well, they've definitely been pushed to the background. The focus on the group is the Santos-Ray relationship, isn't it? So they've definitely been pushed to the background. I don't think the booking of the LWO has been very good at all. Koji Ko, here we go. Where's hello, buds? Coach Coach said, but if you don't want to be like me and drop out of school, at least do this. Don't do your homework. And if you have to pee in the middle of class, go to the trash can and do your business. You're welcome. So there we go. It's really great that we've got some back to school advice from our education expert, on the community education coordinator, Kojiko. Just giving a few tips to the kids. Just a few helpful back-to-school tips. Obviously, a lot of nerves. There'll be some kids going from, like, their first school to their second school. You know? Be a lot of nerves. That Monday, that a lot of kids will be doing that. I remember it. I've been there. I remember it. Nervous. Am I going to make friends? You won't. You won't. Unfortunately, you won't. And you'll spend 5 years living in fear. Other than that, though, it's going to be a great adventure. Right, we are back. Bailey, off the top rope. That made me laugh, even though I'm a grade 5 teacher, says David. Oh, David, don't do yourself well. I reckon you're better than a grade 5. I'd say you're a grade 8. And I don't even know you were. Suicide dive by Shotzi. I'm not sure about the howling. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure about the howling. It's never got over, and I don't think it's going to get over. She slams Bailey down face first. Shotzi comes over. Big knee strike by Shotzi. Forearm strike by Shotzi as well. Love that kick. Looks like she's going to kick downstairs. It's just a little feint. Gets the reaction, and then she goes bang upstairs. Bailey has got Shotzi upside down in the corner. Bailey charges over. Oh, elbow drop by Bailey. Beautiful work. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Bailey. But I hope to see an Uncle Howdy sometime, said Suzanne. I left school back in 2019. I'm 20. I have not got a job because of my condition, said Kian. Kian, shout out to you. I hope that if you are looking to get a job, that you get a job soon. If not, don't worry about it. Oh, big senton there by Shotzi. She's going up top. EO distracting. Bailey charging over. Forearm strike. Do I know what the main event is tonight? Is it AJ Solo? I think it's AJ Solo, isn't it? Give me the belt. Give me the belt. Is that Charlotte? What? Charlotte's coming down. Go deal with Charlotte. Charlotte's making her way down. Bow down to the queen. Big boot there by Charlotte. She's still ticked off that Charlotte cashed in on her, apparently. So Charlotte has come down. Charlotte and Bailey. Oh, man, I'm into this. Forearm strike by Charlotte on Bailey. Shotzi plants Bailey. 1, 2, 3. Shotzi beats Bailey. Thanks to Charlotte. She wins by a hair. So Shotzi wins. I don't know what Charlotte's wearing. Right, still to come tonight, we got AJ, and so it's probably going to lead to some flipping tag match next week, isn't it? Probably going to get Shotzi and Charlotte versus EO and Bailey next week now. WWE on Sky. Not Charlotte again. Why is the women's champion an afterthought in this, says Mitchell. Wisp said Charlotte giving Shotzi props isn't going to win anyone over. Ashley Flair is here, says Amy Jobson. Charlotte boring Flair, said Prince Moolah. Well, this return has gone down very well. That's what I've learned. Charlotte picked up her outfit at Kmart, says David. Wrestling referees are blind and deaf. I mean, he's flipping in the ring. Did he not hear her music? As soon as that music hit, did he not think to himself, we've got a situation here? It's hard enough for us to have a clean contest, what with Dakota and Io at ringside, but bringing down Charlotte is only going to make things worse. But no, instead, he didn't even seem to acknowledge her existence. Wild. Victoria said the only person who gave a shoot about the women's division was Stephanie. Huh. Rumor is Charlotte and Andrade are Splitsville. My time has come. Your time is now? Is that true? Charlotte and Andrade are Splitsville. Andrade, what's happening? Did Charlotte break up with Andrade El Idolo? Latest social media activity puts everyone on notice. Charlotte recently suffered a heartbreaking loss in a triple threat at SummerSlam. The 14-time world champion failed to capture the championship. I've not seen this. Andrade plays his chair. Yeah, I don't care about any of this. According to reports, it was Carl Anderson that played Cupid. Yeah, I don't care about any of this. What's the thing? By virtue of being a power couple, Andrade and Charlotte have a healthy fan following. As rumors circulated, some chose to take sides. But what was said? But what was said? I've got a whole article here that doesn't actually tell me what has happened. Claire's latest post on Instagram, her last post on Instagram featuring her husband was July 7th. Since then, she's put up 30 posts, and Andrade hasn't been in them. Andrade has not posted anything lately featuring his wife. Whilst these raised suspicions, the theory was fanned as they unfollowed each other on social media. That is it. That is it then. They unfollowed each other. Shocking. Shocking news. Shocking developments. Who do you think will eventually end the tribal? Who do you think will eventually end the tribal chief? Oh, I think it'll be Cody. Cody. I think Cody will be the one that ends Roman's title reign. They have done it before, said Loopy Girl. Amy Jobson said Charlotte looks like she's dressed for scuba diving. Let's go. Right, 2016, we're seeing Seth say a few words. I want my legacy to be that I was one of the greatest to ever live. I want the ball. So we're just seeing a video package of Seth. I unfollowed my husband for not buying the right burger a few weeks ago, says Trini. Maybe that's what's happened. Charlotte and Andrade have been future endeavored, said Boomers TV. Cameron said, I kind of wanted Cena to cook Jimmy, which he did. Seth bores me, says David. So it's a video package. We've just been looking at Seth. Now we're looking at Shinsuke. I'm really intrigued by these two. I know his weaknesses, said Shinsuke. Why would you unfollow your spouse, said J-Love. Hello, Sammy. Hope you are well. When he picks up his child, he is in pain. I love this video package. It was a really good video package. He knows that I can break him once and for all. Watch your back. Seth Rollins. Seth doesn't know how much longer he will be able to do this for. There probably is some truth in that, actually. There probably is some truth. Coach Co, dude, you've been super supportive tonight. You don't need to be. I think I speak for everyone when I say we would be all right with less Koji Co messages. Not completely. We love you. We love reading your thoughts, but just thinking, you've been super generous this week, tonight, as always. Don't need to be. But let's read what he says. Koji Co said next Friday, SmackDown is in Boston. Koji Co will be there. Oh my God, is that true? In the front row. Don't forget to feed your poop and water your pee. Are you really going? Are you? Oh my God, everyone will be looking to try and see who is Koji Co. I expect a robot to be sat in the... I expect a robot to be sat there. We'll be looking at like green shirt guy, Trinidad guy, and then there'll be flipping RoboCop sat there. We'll be like, there's Koji Co. There's Koji Co. Don't forget to feed your poop. Take your pee-pee. Right, they're just running down payback card. Don't forget we are live tomorrow. Thank you. I saw a young boy wearing a green shirt in the crowds. Well, we've all got to have heroes. If we see someone with a misspelled... Oh my God, could you imagine a Koji Co fan sign? Oh my God. It would be massive and it would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. 0 sense whatsoever. If you are reading this and you're going back to school, then don't forget to poo on your pee and pee in the trash can. Tickle pee pee poo poo. Right, we're just seeing what happened earlier. The robot from Rocky 4. Let's go. Trini said, I once hid all the batteries in my house and I watched him search for a remote that had them for 2 hours. When he went to buy some, replace them all, he thought he was going mad. I mean, you do just seem like an awful person. A super chat sign, said Mr. Unfamiliar. You could do that, actually. You could screenshot a super chat, write out a new message, blow it up to like a fan sign, and take that. Amazing. Right, main event time. 23 minutes to go. Time for our main event. Solo Sikoa versus AJ Styles. Says Solo with Paul Heyman. Oh, the graphic said with Paul Heyman, but there is no Paul Heyman. Botch. Botch. They just botched. Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman. I don't think so. Not unless he's lost a lot of weight to the point where he's invisible. They botched. He's there. You just can't see him. Oh my God, he's been so inspired by John Cena. Solo Sikoa versus AJ Styles. AJ is going to get screwed by Carrion, and I'm going to throw my chair at the TV. He's renamed the Spike to Paul Heyman. Perhaps Paul Heyman's the name of the towel that he's got round his head. Do you reckon that's Paul Heyman? Paul is stuck in the bathroom as Koji Co has locked him in, said David. Cue the light night hello, said I've got $1 on Solo chops Paul before WrestleMania. Serious Gaming said AJ should win, but looks like he's losing this one, sadly. Heyman might not be there because Styles, Anderson, and Gallows don't like him, said Nelson. Don't know. I would be surprised. Foxcatcher documentary. Oh no, a Kurt documentary. Have you seen the Foxcatcher documentary? It's amazing. They did a film as well. That's amazing. That whole Foxcatcher story is crazy. Is this where is this? Is this on like A&E or whatever? It makes my story look lame. Angle tomorrow, exclusively on Peacock. Ooh, I'm definitely down for what that looked good, man. That looked good. That looked good. King Yeti, shout out to you, my friend. Really, wow, everyone's been so supportive tonight. So supportive. King Yeti, shout out to you. Says Kojiko should bring Moppy. You're welcome. Thank you, King Yeti. Thank you. Should bring Moppy. King Yeti, appreciate the support, man. Really appreciate the support. Crazy. Everyone's being so supportive. Please join us tomorrow, though. You don't need to super chat, but we are going to be live for Payback. It's going to be a big stream tomorrow. We only get a big WWE pay-per-view once a month. Obviously, our last one was SummerSlam. It was good. Enjoyed it. I know the card maybe doesn't get the pulses racing quite like SummerSlam or WrestleMania or anything. But I think it's all right, you know. I'm really into Seth Shinsuke. I'm really into Rhea and Raquel. I think there's enough about that card to look quite tasty, to keep me interested. So we will be live for that tomorrow. It's already set up. It's already set up. So yeah, King Yeti, shout out to you, buds. Serious Gaming said Kojiko should just bring a big TV with a live stream of Daisy's chats. That'd be sick. That'd be pretty good. And actually, if Kojiko doesn't want to be seen, he could wear like a TV on his head that just has the live stream on it. Like on the front. Now, why has no one ever done that? Why has no one ever done that? Why has no one ever gone to the show with like a headpiece on where you've got just a screen? You can get really flat screens in this day and age, right? It's not like back in the day where TVs used to be like that deep. Like, do you know what I mean? In my mind, you could have an old school TV with like a little aerial, and then and like you could just sit there and change the channels. That would be good. Obviously, you're not really changing the channels. You would have created, say, a video. You know, you could maybe put it on a little stick, pop that in, but make it look like you're changing the channels. All I'm saying is in this day and age, you don't need to be bringing fan signs with paper. Like, technology is really moving things forwards. God only knows what the crowd will be displaying in years' time. But it is a surprise that no one has brought, like, you know what I mean? Some sort of LED screen. So the technology now with phones that like all open out and everything, the fact that you can like fold screens. I've seen screens that you can roll up. So could you imagine in the future crowds unrolling a TV screen that'll let them display anything? That'll be sick in the future. That'll be sick. Imagine that. Imagine screens that you unravel and unroll. Everyone will have one. You won't be able to see any faces. Let's go. Motix said, I know Kojiko personally, and I'll tell you this. He's got long hair. I hope that helps. It doesn't really. Is he the Jesus? Is he the Jesus from the crowd? That's what I want to know. A.B. Jobson said, Days, no bloodline booked on Payback. Can that change in 20 minutes? It can do. I'm not expecting it to. I'm not expecting it to change. But it could change. Could Could be that Jimmy Uso just makes a surprise appearance, you know, interrupts, I don't know, Cody, or interrupts John Cena whilst he's hosting. But I'm not expecting Roman or, well, I'm not expecting Jay to be announced. If it was going to be anything, it'd be Solo or Jimmy. But Jimmy's left, didn't he? Saw him leave earlier. Do you think they'll write Asuka off TV until Kyrie comes back? Maybe. Maybe. Depends if they've got anything they want to do with her. I mean, I don't think you have to write her off until Kyrie comes in. You don't have to do that. You could do so that when she comes back, she's not alone. But you could easily put her in a feud, have like her getting a little outnumbered, and then, you know, use that as a way of bringing in Kyrie. So, right. Solo headbutting AJ. We are underway with our main event. How long we got left? We got 15 minutes left to go. 15 minutes left to go. I think Payback is going to be great, said Dean. I can't wait to spend time with all my friends here. Dean, shout out to you, buddy. Mr. Unfamiliar said AOP versus Ascension in 2023 is what the community needs. Sunny said, are you doing UFC? I am. I'm doing better at my predictions. Very good. Yeah, we're doing UFC tomorrow because it's in France. So we're doing UFC. Then we go straight into Payback. They are separate streams. But we'll be starting at like, I don't know, 5, something like that. Going straight the way through into Payback, which then takes us through to probably going to be like 11 hours of streaming tomorrow. Then I'm going to sleep, or try to. And then we're back with AEW All Out. So busy weekend, 3 streams over the next 48 hours. Solo looking for a clothesline. AJ ducked out the way. AJ jumping over Solo. Solo going against the ropes. Drop kick there by AJ. Solo goes over to the corner. Big Time said, do you think Bad Karma caught up with Mercedes after the way she handled her WWE exit? Here's Heyman. Here's Heyman. Let's go. Paul Heyman making his way down. Paul Heyman, where was you? Paul Heyman makes his way down. Mitchell said, knock, knock. Who's there? Brittany. Brittany who? Knock, knock. Who's there? Brittany. Brittany who? Oops, I did it again. I feel like that joke would have killed in 1999. I think that would have, honestly. Heyman's backing away. AJ staring at Heyman. As we go to commercial break. Asuka needs toxic attraction for backup, said Jeremy. Can't lose the belt. Will you win? You never defend the strap. Can't lose the belt when you never defend the strap. Serious Gaming said, I feel like EO needs to be Solo. She doesn't really need damage control. I thought you meant she needs to be like Solo Sikoa. Yeah, she doesn't really need it, but it probably helps to have them around as long as they don't cost her matches. But, you know, we've seen with Bloodline, having some friends in your corner can certainly help you get through some difficult matches. So, I don't know, she's probably just kind of playing it as she's going along at the moment. But eventually she'll be off on her own, yeah. I think Jimmy will come to the match and Jay will come out as well, said Darren. Imagine if Randy or Big E returns, said Dinesh. Yeah, I think there is a chance for something big to go down. There is definitely a chance for some sort of return. I mean, you know, it feels weird not sitting here talking about a potential Bray return. You know, we would have been doing that. We would have been talking about, do you think Bray comes back tomorrow? That absolutely would have been part of our conversation. I thought there was a great chance he was going to return, and then it would have been Bray and Roman. But, you know, obviously we know what's happened. I don't think, well, the news about Big E was that apparently some doctors have told him not to return. So I don't know what's happening there. And there's just no news on Randy. So we'll have to see. Heyman turns solo. We get the reveal that AJ is Paul's son. Vince Russo just told me that he's booked the final segment, said Davids. How was your ice cream last night, said Serious Gaming. How was my ice cream last night? I didn't have any. I finished the watch-along stream last night. I did the members watch-along stream. And then I did a few little bits. I started to try and do UFC research. And I was like, oh my God, I'm really feeling it. So I ended up like going to bed and having a bit of it wasn't really a nap. It was more like a sleep. It wasn't like an hour. It was about 5 hours. I woke up. I felt great. So I felt really good. I was like, yeah, that was a good idea. But then I wasn't in an ice cream mood. So I haven't had any. Might have some tonight. Who knows? Treat yourself. Right, we're just seeing the NFL championships. We're back from commercial break. We got 10 minutes left to go. I can tell you that I can see the pattern of live people that have joined us. I think that just looking at how this has gone, I'd imagine this is probably the same for WWE's ratings. It looks like there was a big build towards the start of the show. We got John Cena, and then there's just been this steady decline. I really don't think there's been much to keep anyone around on this show. I don't think there's been much to keep people about. I don't think it helps not knowing what the main event was going to be. And obviously the first segment normally sets up the main event. Like had Cena and Jimmy had led to Cena versus Jimmy, then obviously people would have massively stuck around for that. But Solo AJ has kind of come out of nowhere, hasn't it? It's a bit random. It is a bit random. Coach Co says, Kojiko, does we have glasses of poop with a smooch? Yeah, I just thought it farted. It smells like old eggs. Ha ha. There's something really creepy about Coach Co, who I'm fairly certain is an AI bot. Put in ha ha at the end of his message. Ha ha. Anyone else a bit freaked out by that? Coach, shout out to you, my friend. I really appreciate the support as always. And I still have no idea if you are actually going to the show in Boston. But if you are, have a great time. T85 said Bo Dallas needs to come out and do a WCW Dustin Rhodes 7-like and reveal himself as Bo under the Uncle Howdy attire. Justin said, I'm not big homie for the last time. That part of my life is done. Serious Gaming said, I thought they said Cena was going to do a Bray tribute. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. I don't know. I didn't hear. Did I hear them say about a Bray tribute? I don't think they did. Solo has got AJ over by the rope. Solo charging over. Oh, big kick coming in by AJ. Inzaguri kick as well. Pele kick by AJ as Solo goes down. David said the Cowboys WWE title is a throwback to the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, the year Vince McMahon was born. Oh. According to ChatGPT, Jennifer Lawrence makes a good wrestler. I can believe that. Right, well, we are underway with our main event. We got 7 minutes left to go. Big shots coming in by AJ. Crowd, a little quiet for this main event. Drop kick. AJ, forearm strike. Doesn't AJ have the whole team with him? Where is the OC? Don't know, man. Meechin like wound him up. and then has just left him. Normally, Michin comes out with him. He's fighting this fight because of Jimmy disrespecting Michin. He went to confront Jimmy. He ended up getting into it with Solo. Like, there's no Michin around anywhere. In all fairness to Gallows and Anderson, they didn't want this smoke. They didn't want anything to do with this, so I can sort of understand them going, you know what? This achieves nothing. This achieves nothing. You go, you do you. Big Samoan drop there by Solo Sikoa. Heyman thought that was going to be the 3, but it wasn't. Oh my God, Coach Co said, all joking aside, yes, I am going, and it is front row, and I do have glasses. Okay. Well, there we go. So I can absolutely assure you that next week in Boston, SmackDown, Koji Ko is front row, and he is wearing glasses. This whole community is going to be desperately searching for Koji Ko next week on SmackDown. I know I am. That's all I'm going to do. Going to be a Koji Ko watcher. Friday night Koji Ko. Oh, he's going to talk absolute nonsense in the chat. Oh my God. Next week's SmackDown stream is going to be awful. It's going to make way too much sense. Who's going to talk nonsense? I'm going to have to do it. It's definitely going to feel like something's missing next week. AJ looking for the Styles clash. How will we spot Koji Ko? Don't wear a green shirt, says Big Al. Well, apparently he wears glasses. And I can't be the only one that thinks once you see Koji Ko, I think you'll know. Koji Ko's a different cat, man. Oh, there's Jimmy. Jimmy swipes at the legs of AJ. So does this mean Jimmy is helping? Is Jimmy helping Solo? Well, I suppose he is his brother. Big shot. And a win. So Jimmy has helped. Paul Heyman's confused. I'm confused. Oh, God. It has this story, man. It is jumping the shark a little bit in regards to Jimmy's in, he's out. Oh, look, now Solo. Now Solo goes to Samoan Spike Jimmy. Heyman's telling him not to do it. Tell Solo not to do it. Solo's getting out. Didn't he earlier say, like, you're in the bloodline until we say you're not in the bloodline? Super kick. Jimmy to AJ. Jimmy climbing up. Jimmy with a big splash on AJ. Heyman and Solo watching on, and Jimmy throws up the 1. Anyone else feel like that? Oh, anyone else feel like that? Now Jimmy's going back in the bloodline. Jimmy wants in. The writers don't know what to do. Yeah, I must admit, I've really, really loved the Bloodline story. There's only been a couple of times where I felt frustrated with it. I was not frustrated, but I was sad that we didn't pull the trigger on Sammy and give him the belt. But I could understand. You know, it was just before WrestleMania. It felt like Cody was the one. Blah, 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 blah. I got it. I understood. I just wanted it. But then this one now. I'm looking at this going, what? This ain't making me lose my mind. I'm not screaming the place down going, oh my God, he wants back in. Oh, he wants back. I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm going, he wants back in. After everything they've been through. I can understand him coming to the aid of his brother. I can understand that. I can understand him helping Solo. But like, earlier in this same show, he said to John Cena, you're just like Roman, only you do take. You do what you do with a smile on your face. It didn't seem like he was full of respect for Roman earlier. And now he wants back in. Listen, that's puberty. Your emotions really do go all over the place. Jimmy is tripolar. Could it be a ploy to take them down? Says Trina. Let it play out. Well, yeah, let it play out. I don't disagree with that. It doesn't stop me from judging what I'm seeing, though. You know? It doesn't stop me from watching what I'm seeing right now going, not on board with it, you know? Not logically, like, I'm struggling to get it to make sense as to why he wants to now go back in. Well, you know, if it is going to be that he rejoins and then tries to bring them down from the inside, I don't know. Doesn't the journey have to make sense? And doesn't the journey have to be like, oh, that was good? If on the journey you're watching it and you're going, why is this happening? Why is he doing that? Like, if the reveal is that he's doing it to bring them down from the inside, could you maybe throw the counter argument that it actually isn't that clever of a story? It's not that clever if you're watching it and it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to get people's reactions to it. Jimmy to come back in and then attack Bloodline and challenge Roman, then Jimmy Roman, then Jay returns and attacks Jimmy, then Jimmy Jay. That's where I think it goes, said BTB. Watching the ending made you say my name, didn't it? Says her. It did. I think they're actually doing well with the confusion surrounding Jimmy, says Kevin. Wan said, have they met? I'm not related. I don't know what that means. Dean said, it's going to be like Guess Who, like board game to try and find him. People trying to make me go, I'm not going. I feel like there's about 20 different conversations going on. WWE knows without Bloodline, they are unwatchable, said T85. AJ Solo, new storyline, match was good. Jimmy, good show, said Davids. We have to fill time for 7 months. Jay versus Jimmy and Cody versus Roman, said Andrew. Maybe it is that. Carter Time said Jimmy needs to eat a Snickers because you're not yourself when you're hungry. Prince Moolah said, what happened to Carrion and the OC feuds? I don't know. It's a good question. David said, I'll be the jobber in the chat tomorrow. We'll be watching the pay-per-view on the WWE Network in Canada. Big Time said, Days, didn't Roman put Jimmy on a stretcher post Money in the Bank? Yes. David said, I'm at a 7. Shakeem said, I'm at a 7. Mitchell said, that ending dropped my score. Now I'm at a 6. They have no idea what to do with Jimmy. What is your score? Probably about the same. Because, to be honest, I think this show started off hot with Cena. I thought Jimmy coming out and confronting Cena didn't make much sense. Like, why is Jimmy's got so much on his plate right now. Why does he need to be faffing around with John Cena? But I did like that line where it was like, do you know what? You're just like Roman. Only you take with a smile on your face. I thought it was a good line. So I was like, okay, I can forgive that. And then they get into it and I'm like, all right. But the problem was it didn't set anything else up, did it? Like, I know that Cena's at Payback. That's it. But I don't know what he's going to be doing, who he's going to be, like, you know, feuding with, unless it is going to be Jimmy. So it was a fine open, but it was a bit surprising. Let's put it that way. Bit surprising. I think we could have done something better, to be honest. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And then, like, we just got into the show, and the show, I think, has just been all right. It's been all right. I don't think it's been a disaster, but equally, I don't know that there's been a great deal here to get your pulse racing, to really get, like, you know, the heart going. But then I do remind myself it's a go home. You know, we're not going to start anything new. It's a go home. All the pieces are in place for tomorrow. I'm quite looking forward to tomorrow. And then I suppose we did get a bit of a bombshell at the end with Jimmy helping Solo. Just judging by the chat, I think there's going to be a bit of a split opinion on that. I'm not out. I'm not like, it's not like I'm done. I'm out. This is it. It's over. It's a disaster. This is a joke. Blah, blah, blah. I ain't feeling like that. It's just at the moment, the story's not going in a direction I would like it to go in, you know? I didn't have any interest in seeing Jimmy go back to the bloodline. And as I said, even if the reveal is that he's going to be joining it to rip it apart from the inside, I think if on the journey it does make you go, this doesn't make much sense, then when you get to like a bit of a payoff like that, I just don't know if it's going to hit. I don't know if it's going to be that satisfying. It's not the way I would go. But this bloodline story has been amazing. If they are going to have a few missteps, I think it probably is to be expected. And, well, who knows? Let's see how it goes. It might not even go that way. It might not be joining to rip it apart from the insides. It might be something else. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Yeah, keep putting in your thoughts. Keep putting in your thoughts. Next week, he'll want back out again, said the Count. Dave said, do you think we will get Theory Waller against Cena and Cody? We could do. I can't sit here and say yes. Categorically, we absolutely will. But we could do. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is Cody is on Raw. Whereas Cena, I think is maybe on SmackDown. I don't know. I think he's on SmackDown. I think he's a bit of a Roman replacement, a short-term Roman replacement, but doesn't mean that Cody still can't be involved in like a match. You know, we've seen plenty of people coming over from different brands to do occasional little things. So, Roman, just me, Jay quit. We're left with Jimmy and Solo. It's mid, said Sakilla. Q the Light Night, shout out to you. K-pop lover, shout out to you. Do you think Cody is facing Roman? Because every time he confronts Seth for the heavyweight title, someone always interrupts. Yeah, I do think he's facing Roman. I don't think Cody needs Seth's title. Seth's title doesn't mean anything. Seth's title was conjured up out of thin air. It's a world title because WWE say it's a world title. That ain't the belt that's Cody dreamt of winning when he returned. That's not the belt that he promised his dad that he would win for the family. The one he needs is Roman's. So it doesn't make any sense for him to get Seth's. Doesn't make any sense for him to get Seth's. So, but equally, you do need that title to be seen as prestigious. You do need that title to be seen as a prize that all the superstars want. So it does make sense for Cody to be around it and thinking of going for it, but then something just gets in the way because that ain't the belt he needs. I love the bloodline, but the writers don't have any current ideas. A battle royal to determine contenders for Ring of Honor titles at the pay-per-view. Booker of the Year, everyone, said A.B. Jobson. Bishop said, how much longer do you think AJ has got left? I don't know how long he's got on his contract. I mean, he's a family man. We know that. He loves wrestling, but I think AJ is someone that will call quits and be quite happy to be with his family and not to worry about coming back to wrestling. So I don't know how long his current contract is. I would imagine that we're very much getting towards the end of his time. I reckon he's got a few years, something like that. I'd like to see him win another world title, maybe the one Seth's got at some point, in order for him to, I don't know, I think it'd be a shame. I mean, he's been away from like the title picture for so long, and I don't think he should be. I'd like to see him with another world title. Do you think Randy will retire? I hope not, Victoria. I really, really hope not. That is the concern, though. This injury is, it's not a good injury, is it? So that is the concern. That he might have to retire because of this injury. So, but as we say, fingers crossed that that's not the case. Right, I'm going to go off and do a few bits and bobs. I'm going to have some ice cream as well. Maybe some cereal. Not sure. Appreciate the support, guys. Don't forget, we are back tomorrow for UFC and Payback. So if you are around, make sure you swing by and share your thoughts. Big thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight. And yeah, should be a good show tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And I hopefully we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.